Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox, a national journalist.
Mastodon. I will never be able to say that.
It feels like the Flintstones live there.
It does.
Well, don't trust women. I think you just touched on that with your last. That's what they brought. We're going to have to bring back chaperones.
Jesus, no.
Just careful. Stop! Break! Ooh. Hard right.
How did you screw up a stove, Megan? You're a woman. I thought that was baked into you. Like at the genetic level, how to operate kitchen equipment.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you.
You get Dino hanging out outside chewing on a large bone.
I highly recommend being targeted by the New York Times and Rolling Stone for weight loss. And I'd say, keep it coming. I need to lose 20 more. Please, keep it coming.
Explain to me, Megan, why did this country not have a holiday once a year? That's the time you vote. If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. You don't get another chance. You don't get, I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake, crawl there. But that's it. 1 day, 12 hours, and then you're done. And you count them that day, and that night you know who the hell was.
I will eat you alive. You want to tangle? You want to go?
The only thing going through my head is, what are you going to do when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother?
He made a deal with the devil. She's the devil.
He wants that.
Oh, God. Gross! Oh! All right. Penalty box for Slug. Yep.
Of a mile.
Are you ready to behave yourself now, Slug?
This frustrating rep.
Are you ready to behave yourself? Repossessed puppies. I'm hiding pork chop. Have you seen his little pork chop? Oh my God, pork chop is the cutest.
That sounds bad.
Have you seen it? Pork. It's pork.
Though you may be tempted, do not contact any person or persons mentioned on this stream. Do not even think about contacting anyone who may be the topic of the daily news. If you should do that, the host will question your IQ, possibly call you names, and mock you for disobeying these basic rules of decency.
All the best
for you. Okay. Do you need it right now? No, if you're busy. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I was talking to Mr. Fox there for a second. I am here. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry. But I got a phone call just as I was trying to dry my hair from a source, and stuff is just popping off in the Hales case. It is crazy what is going on. There is things that I can't tell you about right now, but there is something I could tell you, which was that one of the the head defamers over there on one of the hate channels was supposed to be deposed this morning at 10. She didn't show up. Can you say contempt? Contempt of court? Wow. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's like the FAFO moment in court. This is the stuff that is happening is unbelievable. All right. But that's not why we're here today. We're not talking about Hales. We are here because Legal Vices started a new trial, a retro trial, shortly. Just in December, he started doing it and did not get to finish. He only did 2 parts. We got halfway through the second part last time we did this. Brad, if you're in the chat, you're welcome to join me, by the way. We got halfway through, so we are going to be doing the second half of Jeff's part 2, which would be my part 3. And it's the Massachusetts v. Woodward case. And Jeff really wanted us to watch this trial for some reason. And so I wanted to make sure that we did it. I do have to find which one it was, though. Wait a minute. Did he start a playlist of it? No. So let me just search on his channel because we were on part 2. Woodward. So this is about a either killer nanny or wrongfully accused. And Jeff said that it was it's about a toddler who was found dead and in Massachusetts in the 90s. And the nanny was charged. And the problem was that I guess there's a lot of inconsistencies, which we are going to see. So he wanted you all to see it, and so do I. And I promised you that I would be covering this with him, and then we'll go on from there. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so chat says, Megan needs somebody else to talk with. Streaming feels weird lately. If I seem awkward or weird, it's just because it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't. So I'm forcing myself to do it, though, because that's the way Jeff would have wanted it. All right, so maybe we didn't make it halfway through. Did we really only make it 33 minutes in? All right, we had a police officer. Let's see. I feel like we saw him already. Who was after him? We don't have a bingo card yet. We should make a Vice's bingo card, though. I'll work on that. Let's see. All right, let's just see. I guess this is where we were because I didn't watch any more since the last time. So I'm going to be folding laundry while I'm doing this.
We're long, and there are no closed captions for this guy. So let's hope he uses his microphone and speaks clearly. Oh, and oh, dang. I was gonna have a bingo card. I promised a bingo card. I forgot.
I was gonna do one too, but I also forgot.
I'll make a note to myself, and we'll get a bingo card set up for next week. I apologize.
Brendan McNiff.
And your date of birth?
January 12th, 1971.
Your name, client.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. McNiff, how are you presently employed?
I'm presently employed by American Medical Response as currently now as a field supervisor.
And on February 4th, were you then a field supervisor?
And I forgot his name already.
I was a municipal
Brandon
paramedic within one of our municipal contracts.
And when did you become a field supervisor?
Last week.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations. 20 years
On February 4th of 1997, you were employed as a paramedic with Chalk Ambulance?
For American Medical Response, formerly known as Chalk Ambulance, yes.
So what's the difference between a paramedic and an EMT?
The differences are in the advanced skills of advanced airway management, advanced cardiac management, pharmacology, which is our therapeutic drugs for which we give.
Who knows more, the EMT or the paramedic?
Paramedic.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, when we...
I like the judge. That was interesting. The judge was hurrying this along a little bit. He's like, okay, we don't want to get bogged down in what a paramedic does, what an EMT does. Who knows more? I like that the judge stepped in and asked a question on his own authority. Just tell us who knows more.
When you certified as an EMT?
In 1991.
And what is the basis for an EMT certification?
3 months of training at an institution that certifies you.
And just in general, what type of training do you receive?
We trained in airway management, spinal immobilization, bleeding and bandaging, and so forth.
And when were you certified as a paramedic?
In 1995.
Now, could you explain what the basis is for the certification as a paramedic?
To undergo certification for a paramedic, you need to do a year of school, which requires you to do a full medical rotation, a full program of didactic in learning the sort of the skills that are attributed to like your first year of medical school.
And where did you do your 6-month classroom?
Northeastern University.
Sorry, I can't hear.
Northeastern University.
And where did you do your 6-month hospital ER clinical program?
Norwood Hospital.
And at some point, did you do a field internship?
I did.
And where did you do your field internship?
New York City.
Are you familiar with CPR?
I am.
Do you continue to teach classes in CPR?
I do assistant classes, yes.
And how are you familiar with the 911 system as it relates to paramedics?
He was only 26 years old when this was on trial. But it was 30 years ago.
In regards to receiving a call?
He's 53.
Well, did you do 911 responses at that time?
I did.
How long had you been doing 911 responses?
Since my original certification as an emergency medical technician back as far as 1991.
You presently attending college?
Yes, I am.
And what is the area of training you're receiving now?
I'm pursuing a degree in biology, a bachelor's degree.
Sir, on February 4th of 1997, were you working as a paramedic at that time?
I was.
And who was your partner that evening?
Kevin Wall.
And is there a certain arrangement between partners as paramedics work?
Yes.
And what is that arrangement with regard to who drives the truck and who handles patients?
The arrangement is the driver usually handles the patient care aspects, with the passenger of the vehicle usually assumes control of the patient and sort of facilitates what needs are done.
And when you go to a call, is there another truck which also goes to the call with you?
There is.
And were there two people in that rescue truck that evening?
There were.
And who were those people?
Keith Vars and William Supple.
And sir, at some point, were you dispatched to 33 Beamuth Road in Newton?
We were.
Is he saying Behemoth or Behemoth Road? Just,
Is that like
he's trying to say
Mastodon
Behemoth
Drive?
every time. And while we're just talking about the just the regular old run-of-the-mill response stuff, let's take a look here at what's going on in Super Chat Heaven, because we are not very far along the way of the emotional support potato pig dog camp. So we may not reach the goal today, but who cares? We got as far as Adair K. Nicola Maxwell, mod paralegal Liz, please. That accent. Mods need to be earned. We got to earn our mods. Liz. You know, Liz, it's going to take some more time, Liz. You know, you have turned me down the last 3 effing Fridays. It's going to take a little more. Going to take a little more effort, Liz. Welcome, Liz. Good to see you here. And Boosh McFadden,
Nobody
new
could
member.
low-key shame you better than
What is
Jeff
new member for like the 497th
for not showing up on
time.
fucking
Thank
Friday.
you so much for being a new member of the Clean and Sober Crew, Boosh. It's been a while. Thank you so much. And that puts us one step closer. We're now looks like
Jeff is a good reminder for me to read super chats when I should. So I love it that he does that. All right, Slug Entertainment, thanks for the 5 to the old boomer. I am off to get the right nori, and I got beef tallow fries here in DC. Yum. And I created another Megan animal hybrid. Oh no. Ugh. Do I want to know? Leah Tia, thanks to the 5. Hi from Finland. I bought both of your books and now I'm waiting for them to arrive. Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for buying those. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. By the way, Jeff's sister gave me this picture of Jeff. I mentioned to her that I loved that hat, that was my favorite hat that Jeff had with the gray silk band. And she was like, oh, well, I have photos. And she gave me one. So, yep. That will be added to the decor here. So I may get it a frame, or I might just leave it there. I don't know. We'll see.
like we're 1/4 of the way to emotional support potato pig dog. 75 to go. And it's entirely in the hands of you, my good viewers.
Can you approximate what time that was?
About 1/4 of. Oh, actually, I don't have my run,
Nope.
but I believe it
No.
was,
See, this no one needs to do anything. No one needs. This is not a grift stream. Even if it was a grift stream, no one needs to do it. I don't demand, accept. I mean, of course, I accept. I don't demand or grift too hard or anything. Just it's entirely if you can't afford. Don't do it. Just hang out here and chat. Just having you here is super, super awesome. So yeah, nobody should feel obligated to do anything. It's entirely voluntary. Whatever. I just graciously accept and humbly accept anything that is thrown my way from your hard-earned earnings. If you got nothing, don't give nothing. If you got a lot and don't want to give nothing, don't give nothing. If you want to give, just do. It's entirely up to you. It's just you. I'm just a humble little old Lorax just getting you here. No one should ever feel pressured to do it.
15:46 or 1/4, is it?
Is your memory exhausted as to what time you were dispatched to that location?
I don't think it's a dispute. Why don't you just tell them the time there before it's not a dispute.
No. Be on the scene approximately 10 to 4 that day?
I'm sorry?
Did you arrive at 33 Beamuth Road at approximately 10 to 4 that day?
We did, about 3 minutes after our initial dispatch time.
And approximately how long after you arrived at 33 Beamuth Road did you depart that area?
I'm sorry.
Approximately how long after you arrived at the Eapen home did you leave?
We left the scene for Children's Hospital approximately, again, I don't have my run report, so I'd say whatever it says on there, I think 7 minutes or so.
15:56.
Yes.
And arrival at Children's Hospital, 16:07, 4:07 p.m.
That's
Look how well that grift worked for him. I should try that. Now listen, people. You don't have to send anything. You don't have to send super chats. You don't have to feel obligated at all. You can just sit back and enjoy the chat. Watch me fold laundry. Never feel pressured, ever. Only do it if you want to, or not at all. Let's see if that works.
sounds correct, yes.
Upon arrival at the
Bam.
Ethan home at 33 Beamuth Road,
See?
what did you
It
do,
works.
Mr. McNiff?
Upon our arrival there, we unloaded all of our equipment necessary for the situation that we were updated as of hand in regards to a child with some difficulty in breathing. We took the equipment out of our vehicle, went in the home to find the baby with 2 of our new police officers who were updating us as we came through the doorway. We quickly assessed the child, determined a need to move the child to our ambulance for his difficulty in breathing. And from there, we transported to Children's.
Can you indicate the observations you made during your primary survey of Matthew Aben?
In my
Remember-
primary survey of Matthew, I found him on the floor.
Remember, the prosecutor only has one volume. It is Lynette Preston volume. He screams in Boston. That's all he can do. He only has one volume. He doesn't even need a microphone. Like, I feel like I need to turn him down because all he does is scream in Boston accent.
On his back with some obvious respiratory
Poor
distress.
baby.
He was noted to be somewhat pale and somewhat cyanotic, which is blue in color. His pupils were noted to be unequal and not reacting to any movement with light. His extremities were also noted to be somewhat cool. And again, it is at that time we initiated the movement to our vehicle to initiate care.
And whether or not there were any external signs of trauma that were apparent to you during your primary survey?
I didn't note any obvious trauma, nothing that would.
During your secondary survey, whether or not you noticed posturing by the baby?
I did note that the baby was posturing again. That was noted in the house as well. What does it mean? Or posturing is indicative of a head injury.
So, like, I don't know if any of you have seen any horrible videos of people getting like punched in the head or people getting in fights and they fall back and they crack their head on the ground. They sort of literally do like a playing the piano thing. The arms go out, the fingers clench up. That's what posturing is. Like it's just a thing. It's anytime you see anybody hit the dirt and just kind of do like this, that is the sign of a massive and very serious head wound. And that's what this child was doing.
What is it?
It's okay. The posturing is usually.
Oh, never mind. He's going to explain it right now. I beat you to it, buddy.
We'll
There are
get
2
it
types of
twice.
posturing we noted with. Matt.
Somebody in the chat asked who got the Coke sign, who inherited the Coke sign. I thought that it would be fun if we sent it to Nick for his new studio as a reminder. He could put it behind himself. But actually, Connor has added it to his decor at his house, including the Nick Cage blanket. And he scared his roommate with it, with the Nick Cage blanket. And apparently Jeff had a Lorax stuffy. And so that sits on the Nick Cage blanket now. He sent me a picture. I don't know if I still... Connor, where did I get that picture? Did that come from you or did that come from someone else? But it was really funny. I don't know if Connor's here. He might be working. But he has all of it. He has the Coke sign. He has the Bulldog toilet paper holder. I don't know what happened to the rubber duckies and the screaming pickles. They probably got tossed. I wouldn't blame him for that. The 60 sponges. Crystal goes, could you imagine how much money Connor could make if he auctioned that stuff off? The best grift would be to order like 10 Nick Cage blankets and just auction them off as the original. Just keep doing it. Oh man. Yeah.
His hands were down at his side, somewhat fixed outward. His legs were rotated in and his head was arched back.
What did these signs indicate to you at that time?
They indicated to
Okay,
me
so
at
it
that
wasn't
time
the
that
piano player.
Matthew had some sort of cerebral injury.
What did you do next?
We assumed ventilations for Matthew due to his poor respiratory. His respiratory status was poor, so we assumed ventilations for him at that time, as well as initiated transport to the hospital and attempted to gain IV access in order to further secure his airway.
How did you assume respiration with regard to Matthew?
We assumed his respirations with a pediatric ambu bag, which is a bag valve mask, which enables us to overdrive respirations and assist in providing a full breath.
Whether or not you attempted to intubate Matthew through his throat area?
Did I? I'm sorry?
Did you attempt to intubate Matthew through his mouth and throat area?
We did make an attempt to orally, through his mouth, intubate Matthew.
And how was that done?
That was done with a laryngoscope blade. We attempted to intubate Matthew, but at that time, Matthew still had what is known as a gag reflex and would not accept the device into his oral airway, so it was withheld.
And what is a laryngoscope?
A laryngoscope is a metal blade that flips down into an L shape, which has a light on the end of actually on the end of the blade, which enables us to sweep the tongue out of our line of view and perform a direct a direct view of his vocal cords and his tracheal opening. So we are then able to pass an endotracheal tube into his airway to have a secure airway.
I was like, this guy is very, very well spoken. 26 years old.
Agreed.
He's giving very, very good explanations of things. He's not making it complicated. He's not making it too simple. I studied forward like they did in the Karen Reed trial. This guy is very good with his explanations. Very accurate, very precise, and he keeps it simple so the jury can understand. I like this guy. This is a good witness.
Prior to leaving the Eapen home with Matthew, did you have occasion to have any conversation with the defendant?
A very limited conversation, yes.
Do you recall?
Why does the dude need a radio while he's on the stand? Because he's on duty. That's why he's wearing his uniform. It would be interesting to wonder what would happen if he would get a call whilst he was on the stand. Sorry, peace out. Got to run. Bye.
Recall what the extent of that conversation was?
At the time of my conversation, she was the defendant.
The question is, do you recall what the conversation was?
Yes.
And what was that conversation?
It was in regards to what had happened prior to her calling 911.
And what did she say to you, if you recall?
She had said that the baby had been somewhat fussy. She had difficulty in feeding the child, and that's really the extent that I can recall.
And what was happening at the time that you had this conversation with her?
We were on our way moving the child, or the child actually at this time was being moved to the vehicle by my partner and the EMTs. She was on the phone speaking to someone.
After you got back to your emergency vehicle, can you describe what you did with Matthew Eapen as you left the area?
When I came out to the vehicle, we again is when we assumed his ventilations. We initiated further care for the transport to Children's Hospital, setting up the IV bags and situating ourselves and Matthew for a transport to the hospital. And I had asked a fellow officer to return to the home to obtain more information and notify us while we were en route to Children, so we did not, delay transport.
Was that Officer Braceland?
That was.
And did you later have a conversation with Officer Braceland?
I did.
Whether or not you did CPR on Matthew?
I did not.
Whether or not you did any chest compression on Matthew?
I did not.
Now, on the way to Children's Hospital, while you were working on Matthew, did you have a headset on?
I did.
And it allows you to speak with a medical consultant?
It does.
And who was that medical consultant on this evening?
Dr. William O'Callahan.
And whether or not, based on your conversation with Officer O'Callahan, you administered Dr. O'Callahan, whether or not during your conversation with Dr. O'Callahan, you responded by giving the defendant, Matthew, anything?
My conversation with Dr. O'Callahan, again, He is the physician that I work under. I consult with him in regards to treatments of any patient that I come in contact with that I feel is in need of advanced life support techniques. In this case, I discussed with Dr. O'Callahan the use of Valium in order to sedate Matthew in order for us to attempt to secure an airway via endotracheal tube intubation.
And whether you were ever able to get an IV line in Matthew on the way to the hospital?
We did not have a successful IV line upon our run.
We'll take what's called a 5-minute in-court break. Anybody wants to.
All right, take a little bit of a break, which they don't take because Court TV has chopped them all out.
Mr. McNiff, at what point in the evening did you write your chalk ambulance AMR?
All right, before they resume, we've got some things to take care of here. we definitely have things.
Is it super chat time?
People. Where are we at here? We got as far as Boosh, I believe. Coke Fairy says, "Oh, what is Jeff jinking? I must have missed him talking about that." No, I didn't talk about it. I was just doing it. This is just a little cocktail I whipped up. What is it? It's vodka, simple syrup, lime juice, and ginger beer.
Like a vodka mule.
But the ice sounds delicious in the crystal.
I am drinking coffee as usual.
So that's what it is. I don't know what the name of it is. It's just with some muddled. I have some muddled blueberries in it. So muddled blueberries, vodka, simple syrup, lime juice, and ginger beer. Delish. But more importantly, I think my cigar went out.
Uh-oh.
Yep, crap. I forgot to pay attention to the cigar. So that's what I'm drinking. Nothing big deal. Been there, done that. Says $10 for Liz's transgressions.
Oh, it's super chat time. Okay.
Liz hasn't.
I got to hit mine too. Let's see. Did the grift work? Slug says, I'm pressured to give money. Let me out of the basement. Thanks for the $1.99. I have my favorites. Thanks for the $1.99 laundry money. And Lady Tammy, thanks for the $5. I'm sending this of my own free will. So I would say that's a yes. It worked. Let's hear what Jeff got.
Well, yeah.
He probably got a lot more than me.
It's not Easter, but it's still the season of forgiveness. Liz is forgiven. But it's there was power outages one day. There was other stuff going on one day. It was a whole thing. Thank you, been there, done that. Appreciate that. That puts us down the road to doggos. And Tanny Simmons says, graciously and humbly accept this, Lorax. I'll know if you don't. Tanny, you know I do. Tanny, you know I definitely graciously and humbly accept this because I am the most humble person in the entire world. There is no one more humble than me. I am simply just the pinnacle of humbleness. Thanks. L Flocking Lou, member for 1 month, says much love. Always. Oh, thank you so much. That makes me flocking happy to see. Thank you for your support for 1 month. And Island with the $2, but the doggos will miss us. No want sad doggos. Nobody wants to sad doggos. You can probably hear the S dog, the dog that starts with an S. I can't say her name in English or Korean anymore. Chewing on the bone here next to me. Yoda's out like a damn light.
Aww.
L Flocking.
Wait, did he turn it? Am I in front of
What
Doggo
year was this
Cam?
case? 1997. Right down there in the banner, it will give you all the details, the year and the parties and all that other stuff. 1997.
No, they're not out yet.
Was being heard. Thank you very much. And with the $50 wink, you get a foghorn. Oh, we can't not get the Doggo Cam. Well, we very well can not get it. But Winks, you put us halfway there by your very old self. Thank you so much for that. Which, according to my lawyer math, says we're about $5 away. It says we're about $5 away from that Doggo Cam. Well, never mind, because Shelby Fogg just dropped to $5. There we go. Boom. Shelby Fogg. I'm in less of a spirit now and can get out of it most of the time after next Friday. Woo! There you go. We are there, but not to be outdone. We have it's not showing up.
Okay.
Brummy Nan of 2.
I'm folding laundry, right? And I have this sports bra. And as usual, the stupid pad in the both of them are on one side. Why can't they fix this? What is the problem with that clothes manufacturers cannot fix the floating pad problem in the sports bra? So now I have to, and then there's only this tiny little hole, and you have to stick your fingers in there and try and work it into the other side. It's absurd. Is there a reason why we can't sew these things in? Is there this? Nothing makes me rage harder than this. Why can't we sew it in? You know, I am tempted to get the sewing machine and just sew around the freaking thing, like just hem, like just a what? Why does it need to come out? Could someone please tell me why it needs to come out of the sports bra? I don't understand. What is it, just in case someone wants to take it out? Which I don't understand, because nobody needs, nipples at the gym or whatever. Like, no one needs that. But I mean, what? I don't understand. So now I had to rip this thing out and put it on the other side. And like, do you know how much time this is going to take me? Let's start a timer, okay? I'm going to start a timer right now on my phone. Let's do it. I'm going to start a timer. And we're going to see how many minutes out of my day I have to waste putting this stupid thing in the other one. Good Lord. Here, stopwatch. All right, go. We'll listen to Jeff while I do this.
You're over here. Brummy Nan of 2, what's up? All the way over there.
Now this one's
in
crooked.
The UK gifted 1 Legal Vices membership, and that went to
Mother trucker.
Rage Hunting. Rage Hunting got the gifted membership from Brummy Nan of 2. Give Brummy Nan a super
now,
special.
Getting it in
Thank
is
you so much.
impossible.
Ladies and germs, what that little old thing right there does is puts us so far down the road that we've actually achieved our goal.
Yeah, and then you forget which way it goes.
We
up.
are
It's
on
never the same. Yep.
day 75 of the emotional support potato pig dog cam. But due to all of your super awesomeness, we have now just crushed. We have just crushed that goal for the 75th day in a row, which means we are now officially today, as we talk, in day 76 of the emotional support potato
58
pig
seconds.
dog cam. Keep on the
I wasted an entire 58 seconds of my life on that. And actually, that went in easier than they normally do. 58 seconds isn't bad, I guess, but it sucks. Look at Jeff's face. Look at my pause game.
Streak alive. We have but 24 more days to go, and we hit triple
Release
digits.
the hounds.
Thank you so much, as always, for keeping this dang streak alive. That is so, so appreciated. Each and every one of you that contribute. And those of you that are just here, I'm just glad you're all here watching this. Thank you so much. We got that point. So we are to that point in the day where we have no choice but to issue for the 76th day in a row the command to release the hounds. And there is the sleeping one. There is Yoda asleep to the world. And there is the strawberry butt. We got a big old plump strawberry butt there.
Wait, why am I on top of Jeff's face?
We'll focus on the big old plump strawberry.
That came
butt.
out wrong.
Thick strawberry be thick. She's thick today.
I have to fix it.
The thick berry.
Sitting
All
on
right, that is
face.
it. Thank you so much for getting us here for the 25th day in a row.
Where am I going to
for
put me?
the 76th
Where should I
day
put me?
in a row.
In
That's what I
between
meant.
Jeff and the dog?
That is so awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll set up some sort of meaningless goal here, and you can all have at it if you want.
How's that?
Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. You all deserve a foghorn for just being here. That was not a foghorn. That is a foghorn.
Accidental got you, bitch.
Sorry. All right. But as long as we're paused
Flux.
here, we're paused
Did you
just
catch
shy
that?
of the 1 hour mark. So we will use this for our 1 hour griftathon. It's not really a griftathon. I just grift for likes and subs. So because we are getting close again to 85,500. We're just a few short of that. Where are we sitting on the subs right now? Sitting right here. And bear with me. Nobody run away. We're going to get back to this in about 1 minute.
It says
Currently, we are
unburdened
sitting
by
at
what has been.
84,000. I'm sorry, 84,500. We are currently sitting at 84,476 subscribers. We're just 24 away from 84,500. So if any of you haven't subscribed, we got 366 people watching across the universe, 260 right here on YouTube. If any of you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, either just reach down there and smack that subscribe button, or come on over to YouTube and hit that button. Let's get us up to 84,500 ASAP. And as always, I'm so grateful for you. Just hit that like button. We got 191 likes, 255 people here on YouTube, and 191 likes. And take our like and subscribe poll. Strawberry has exited Strawberry has left the room, not the building.
You missed an accidental gotcha bitch. Your favorite. You missed it. He's like, that's not the button. That's not the button. Gotcha bitch. Your favorite. You missed it. You'll have to back up.
Just the room.
It was right after I was sitting on Jeff's face.
Phrasing.
So over here on One-Eyed Yoda. We have our like and subscribe poll here, which is just designed to do nothing other than remind you to hit the like and subscribe button.
No, there's no bingo today. Jeff forgot, and so did I. Sorry. But that's why we were such good friends. We both forget important things. Next week, I promise I'll have one.
Do we need a Christmas Eve, Christmas morning with the law rack? So far, 83% of you say yes, and only 17% of you say no. So it's looking like we might have to squeeze something in for a few hours just to say hi. And don't forget, the 20th, Friday the 20th of December, will be a very moddy Christmas where you can meet our mods. Shelby, that button gets you the most. My favorite button. We'll see. They're in the exact same position. Like we have the foghorn button, but then if I move one screen over, it's the gotcha bitch. And there it
is. He did it again.
Got lots of some of my favorite buttons are in that button position. So they're only one screen apart. Sometimes I forget to scroll back a screen. Apologies. All right, everybody. That is it. Just remember, do the YouTubey things. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do your thing.
Yesterday,
next week, I promise we'll have a.
Last night I was feeling really maudlin, and I turned on him reading H.P. Lovecraft stories on Halloween. And for the first 18 minutes, he was screwing around looking for a background that he couldn't find in his computer. And he's talking to himself going, this is really great entertainment. While he's just staring at another screen. And then he goes, afterwards he goes, hey, fuck it, I can't find it. So, sorry for wasting 18 minutes of your life there with absolutely nothing of consequence. God, it was funny. It had me laughing. Yes, I missed the button wars. Button wars were fun. The button wars were the best wars. The only wars that I love, button wars.
We'll have a bingo card to go with this, and I hope I won't break that promise by forgetting until after we start again, like I did this time around. Nicola Maxwell explaining the pronunciation of her name to Bifrons. It's Nicola, like Tesla. Nick. Hola. That's like hello, Nick. Hi, Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. So that's just think of her as Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hi, Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody. Anyway, let's just make me shut up and we'll get on with this. Back to the trial, folks. Thank you so much for everything. Deeply appreciated. I'm just wonder who this judge is. Whose picture is this back here on the back wall? I'm sure it's haunted. It looks haunted. Not it should be.
A report.
The report was written a short time after we arrived at the hospital, probably within 10 minutes of arriving at the hospital, 10:50.
I have nothing further, Mr. McMahon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That's it? What? Nothing further for this witness? 12 minutes and 19 seconds of testimony from this witness? So it looks like cross-examination is going to be 50 minutes long. Well, cross-examination plus redirect, plus if there's any recross. That is surprisingly short for the amount of time. Because remember, like cross-examination sort of has to be limited in scope to the things that were covered during the direct examination. So this might be a little mini funging coming up here. We might get a little mini fung. And it looks like Andrew Good is gonna. Come on, Barry. You got to cross-examine. You got to cross-examine somebody. We're here for you, Barry Scheck. Andrew Good is a great lawyer, though. And what you're going to see, if you didn't see us last week, what you're going to see here is, you kind of saw a little bit with the previous witness, but the prosecutor, he's just sort of monotone, and he just kind of goes on, and he makes his emphasis with volume, but it's still kind of monotone when you get into it. This guy is animated. This guy knows how to perform for the jury. And so you'll see the difference in their presentation style, the way they ask the questions, the emotions, and whatnot. So let's proceed with the cross-examination of our paramedic by Mr. Andrew Good for the defense.
Good afternoon, Mr. McNiff.
Good afternoon. I heard you.
Good afternoon. Silence. I said good afternoon. Silence. Oops. Help, we've all gone deaf.
Now, Mr. McNiff,
Tell us, Rick Ocasek.
I believe you said that you received certification as an EMT in 1991. Is that correct?
1991, yes.
And that's a certification you received from the state, is it?
That is correct.
And you take an examination in order to receive the certification?
That is correct.
Okay. And after you did that, sir, did you go to work in Newton right away?
No, I did not.
When did you begin working in the Newton area?
1992, 93, in that time frame.
And did you work continuously from 92, 93 until 97 in Newton?
Not continually, no.
Okay. Could you tell us in total time then, the amount of time that you had worked in this capacity, either as a paramedic or as an EMT in Newton, sir?
The type of service that our company provides, being a private ambulance company, we have certain trucks that are dedicated to the city of Newton. If those trucks are busy on a call, we have backup trucks, which will come in and cover the city. Throughout my career at Chalk Ambulance, known now as American Medical Response, I have worked on both systems, being either the backup truck to the city or on the initial dedicated truck to the city. Up until my present promotion to field supervisor, I have worked in the city as a paramedic
Yesterday or last week or whenever it was.
For about a year and a half, 2 years. Prior to that, I worked there as an EMT on the rescue, which was also dedicated to the city. But there are some lapses of time where I spent working in different municipal contracts for which American Medical Response is responsible for.
So, have you worked for a period of years in Newton?
That's correct.
Okay. And I believe you testified that it took you about 3 minutes from the time you were dispatched till the time you arrived at the scene.
That is correct.
And that when you arrived at the scene, sir, I take it you arrived with another paramedic?
That is correct.
And I think you mentioned his name was?
Kevin Wall.
And you and he arrived in the same vehicle?
That is correct.
And when you did, sir, there was no one else in the vehicle, just a two-person team, is that right?
That is correct.
And is that vehicle referred to as Medic 1?
That is correct.
And that's the what you refer to as the dedicated Newton paramedic vehicle?
That is correct.
And When you arrived at the scene, you mentioned that I take it that you drove up to the front of the house
I wasn't driving the vehicle, but we did arrive at the front of the house, yes.
and you took some equipment in the front door.
That is correct.
And
Always take your equipment through the front door. That's the best place for your equipment, the front door. The
Life
back door,
advice.
not so much. Don't take the equipment through the back door. But I was just going to mention here before
Good
I
life
so
advice from
crudely
Chad.
interrupted myself with a crude joke. We do have the next little chat goal, which is literally meaningless, but whatever. 40 minutes. If we get 20 super chats of any sort whatsoever, we'll just take an early shot. Normally the second tier is the 200 level. We'll just take an early shot because why not? Of my horrible samurai whiskey that we've got here. That's the second goal. We'll just you'll force me to do an early shot of that. Plus, when we actually get to the 200, we'll do another one. Whatever. It's just a dumb, silly thing to persuade you without grifting. So hit that goal. Are we gonna hit the goal, chat?
you found the child being attended to by police officers,
That is correct.
and you described the child. Was the child, as you put it, posturing at the time?
Yes.
That is, when you first saw him, he was posturing.
Prior to us leaving the home with the child, or prior to us moving the
No.
child, he was posturing.
Was he posturing when you first saw him? Is my
When
question.
we first came in the door, there were collectively numerous things we noticed about the child, and posturing was one of them.
Okay. And again, would you please, if you could stand. May I ask the witness to stand, Your Honor? Please stand. And could you, if you would, please place your arms in the position.
He's
that the
drunk. Did you
child's
see him
arms
stumble?
were
He's
in
drunk.
When he was postured.
Child's
Get a
arms were down by
breathalyzer.
his side.
Indicating your hands held by your side with your
His
palms
palm sort of extended outwards.
turned around enough, not.
So that would be the type of posturing that was explained earlier here in chat,
Well,
where the arms turn in towards the core of the body
to my recollection.
rather than protrude out.
Just so we review this, your hands are about at the same level as your waist,
That is correct.
and your palms are pointed behind you.
Well, yeah, his arms were, like, his elbows were up in the air. His arms were not flaccid by his side on the ground. They were sort of in an awkward twisting position. Just it
Palms
happened.
are pointed generally to the rear as opposed to being held.
That is correct.
You may resume the seat. Thank you. And is it true to say that there's a certain type of posturing? Is it a name for that?
There's posturing known as decerebrate and decorticate.
And which was this, sir?
That's exactly what our previous chatter told us. It's almost like, I can't remember who it was. They will use the gender neutral they. It's almost like they know what they were talking about. All right, so he's going to explain exactly what we already had a chatter explain to us.
Decerebrate.
Decerebrate.
Decerebrate, yes. Sorry.
And now, sir, I think you testified that that's signified to you some sort of cerebral injury.
Collectively, with the findings of unequal pupils in the presentation of posturing, yes.
And cerebral injury is a brain injury.
Yes.
And now, sir, you mentioned during
I
your
like the way
direct
Terry
testimony
thinks.
that your concern was to maintain a secure airway.
That is correct.
That's your phrase, secure airway?
Well, we wanted to maintain.
No, I'm just asking, was that your phrase, sir?
Did I say secure airway?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that, and now, with respect to that, sir, you mentioned that there's a difference between a paramedic and an EMT.
That is correct.
And there are particular abilities or skills that a paramedic can has to secure an airway that an EMT lacks. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
And that relates to the placement of certain devices, use of certain devices. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
And if you brought some of those devices with you, sir?
They are on the way here, yes, from downstairs.
They're not in the courtroom at the moment?
Presently, no, they're coming from downstairs.
How long did it take to get them from downstairs? Where are they downstairs?
And speaking of devices, fun fact that has nothing to do with anything other than it's a salacious bit of news that I found particularly funny before starting the stream. Texas is forwarding a bill to limit dildo possession to 6 per person. But really, do you need 6? Needing 6 and being told you can't have more than 6 are different things. But apparently that's a new bill being introduced in Texas to limit dildo ownership to 6 per person. And they also are contemplating a bill to ban Walmart from selling sex toys. Again, it has nothing to do with this trial. It was just a wacky little bit of news I saw before I went on there.
In the vehicle, which is in the back parking lot, they are on their way there. A fellow colleague of mine went down to retrieve them.
When did he go down to retrieve them?
During the 5-minute break.
I own none, but just because someone tells me I can't makes me want to own a dozen or 2.
Did you check? And see, please. Maybe.
Oh my God.
Oh, whoops, I was muted. I said, so just in case the family finds anything like that in his house, it was because of this, for no other reason than, protesting. It was a protest.
I can proceed anyway, or I'll come back. Thank you. Now, I take it that,
Dildo police, open up.
catch back up. You said that the skill and ability that a paramedic like yourself has is in part
There is a question. Does a baldo count as a dildo?
Yes.
Isn't that right? And these devices include devices to make the airway secure.
Correct.
And also you also have the ability to administer intravenous, to make an intravenous line. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
And a paramedic is not certified to do that either. Isn't that right?
A paramedic is not certified?
I'm sorry, an EMT, an emergency.
He's like, yeah,
medical
bitch, I can stick
not
people with
certified to
needles.
place an IV.
That is
right?
correct.
And you're also certified to administer certain medications on orders of a physician.
That is correct.
And to do that through the IV if it's placed.
That is correct.
And none of that can be done by an EMT.
That is correct.
And those two skills are included within what is known in your line of work as advanced life support. Is that true?
That is correct.
Now,
Nobody wants
with
their
respect to
grandfather to
this,
have any of them.
secure airway.
Sorry.
You understood at the time, sir, you already testified that the child appeared to you to be suffering from a cerebral or brain injury. Is that true?
At the time, he showed symptoms of that, yes.
And is it true that you had some information that Matthew Eapen may have vomited at some earlier time, at the time that you were treating him?
Slug, what are you asking me to do? He says, I'm going to make a chat redeemable thing that allows the chat to call people boomers. Can you yell the word boomer for the audio part of the redeem? Sure. Boomer! Is that good enough? Okay.
I don't know at what time I received that information. I mean, I can't say I don't know about it throughout the the course of that day that it was brought up, but I don't exactly remember when I came into
Glad to
that
be of service.
information.
Were you aware from your training and education that you described that one thing that can happen to brain injured or cerebral injured persons is that they may vomit? Isn't that
Yes,
true?
it can happen.
And
Yes, it was Denise Sells, apparently either a nurse or an EMT or a paramedic. She knows whereof she speaks.
And it's also true, is it not, that if and I think you detected, I think you said on direct examination that Matthew was having some respiratory distress when you first saw him?
Yes.
And you administered this breathing assistance by mask.
That is correct.
Once you took him out to the truck.
That is correct.
Now, would you estimate how long time from the time you first saw him till how much time elapsed from the time you first saw him to the time that you arrived back at the truck with the child?
Probably within a minute.
I'm glad it's your face, folks.
And at that time, sir, or rather during that time, you were concerned to one of the things your
Flux,
training
did you catch that?
tells you is to be concerned to, as you put it, secure this airway.
Oh God.
Isn't that true?
Jeff was so funny.
I don't understand the question.
Well, my question, sir, is
I didn't either.
did you consider it from your training to be part of your responsibility to assure that the airway would remain secure?
It is part of my training to, in some cases, decide whether we should take over ventilatory efforts for some of our patients. And in regards to Matthew, that concern was voiced that we indeed should assist in his ventilatory efforts.
And in assisting him in ventilating, you're referring to literally pushing air into his respiratory system.
In regards to Matthew, he had a ventilatory effort of his own. We were assisting to regulate it. We were trying to get a regular pattern of breathing.
If someone's breathing, they normally
part of
don't
that was
intubate you, I believe,
raise
because you're
the
breathing on your
rate.
own.
Is that right?
Not necessarily
controlled it
raise
with
it,
the
but
back.
to, again, we wanted to make it a regular breathing rate.
Well, isn't it true that, well, did you detect that?
Oh my goodness. E. Poindexter, thank you for giving me the signal. There's something wrong with Venmo where it doesn't give me my notifications until like a day later. It's very annoying. So if you do send a Venmo or a Cash App or something, just put it in the chat that you did and I'll see it going by. If you have to say it 5 times, I'll see it at some point. Thank you for the 50. It's amazing. That's so generous. I appreciate that. And she says, you do awesome work. Thank you so much. And Patricia, I missed one from Patricia yesterday. It was 20, saying Stark is being deposed on Monday. Well, we'll see, because Lisa didn't show up to hers today. Speaking of, look at this handsome fella who's decided
gorgeous.
not to let me sit here and be lonely.
No, I would do that to you, doll.
I sent Shizzy a message and I was like, I'm lonely. Would you come hang out, please?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It feels
need to be
weird to
lonely.
stream on my own lately. Like, I feel like I don't have any desire to do it.
I know that feeling. Some days I'm like that. And then I get in the swing, and next thing you know, it turns out to be a beautiful day.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. So we are watching the retro trial, Massachusetts v. Woodward, which is about the shaken baby syndrome. Actually, it was the case that put shaken baby syndrome on the map, which now we know that like this is something that was way overdiagnosed, right? And most of the time there were other underlying issues or things, sometimes medical problems or other issues. And I don't remember what happened. We're not doing any spoilers. Jeff wanted us to watch this trial as if it were happening, and he didn't get to make it through. So I'm on part 2 of his coverage. I was only going to go 2 hours today, so I have 1 hour left, and we probably won't even make it through this one, which is cool because next week Jeff will still be here with us for part for my part 4, and I will have a Jeff bingo for everyone. That'll be fun.
There you go.
Yeah. So do you remember this case at all? Did you the killer nanny case? We went after the nanny, but Jeff says there's a whole lot of evidence that's like super hinky about whether she was falsely accused.
Yeah, I remember it a little bit. I was touring at the time, so I didn't really follow much of any trials. I think the only thing that I saw really paid any attention to was O.J. Simpson and the Rodney King.
In the 90s, me too. Rodney King, I think I didn't watch the Rodney King trial, but I did watch OJ. Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, it wasn't like something I was really into was trials at that time. But it was funny because there's a lawyer in here who was on the OJ team. Barry Schenk. Right?
Okay.
Is that right, chat? Jeff had like a real big crush on him. He says he was like one of the best defense attorneys ever. Isn't it Barry Schenk? So far, we haven't seen him talk yet. It's only been his co-counsel. Sheck, not Shank. Sheck. Okay, sorry. Thank you. So we haven't seen him talk yet, and Jeff's getting really annoyed by that. he wants his Barry Sheck. Shank. Now you're saying Shank. The chat can't get it right. Now I have to.
We'll just say Barry. We'll just say Barry.
Barry. Yes, Jeff's getting very antsy for Barry to get up there, and so far we haven't had that. So
haven't had no Barry.
By the way, I was watching your news this morning, and I was dying. I turned it on just in time for the drug addicted rats. You and Mo, I love you as a team, by the way. This was a really smart idea for you to bring her in. Mo in the Deep End is one of the funniest ladies on the internet. I need to invite her here more. I just know she's always busy. She's got kids and stuff, and but I need her here more. She's so funny. The drug addicted rats. I was dying. And then the other story of so there's drug addicted rats in some cop shop in New York because they keep getting into the stash in the evidence locker
in Houston, in New Orleans,
back because they're so addicted and they love it so much. And then the best part is in New York, then there's this story about how it's so cold that the rats are not procreating.
They can't.
That was exactly the news I needed this morning. Okay, it is perfect.
Oh,
it's perfect.
Mo is so perfect for this too. I mean, it just.
Oh God! If you guys want to see an excellent stream in the mornings on Fridays, Shizzy and Mo do their news on Fridays in the mornings, and it's so good. One of these days, maybe I can join you. It's so funny. Although I just like being in the chat laughing because she is so funny. I could listen to Mo just go off about anything.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing is because throughout the week she does morning news and I do morning news. I think she's been doing it.
Yeah.
Probably about the same amount of time. I mean, this is before we really got to know each other that I started doing it. And we went through the deposition. It was the Lynette Preston's deposition. We were going through that just like I think we were doing it just nightly. We'd just pop it up and we'd be watching. I don't think we made it through most of that deposition without just cracking each other up. It took us like a month of Sundays to get through that damn thing. And she reached out to me and said, "Hey, how do you? I miss doing some stuff. How about we do like a Friday?" And I said, "How about we'll do one weekend, one Friday on mine, and we'll go over to yours and do the next Friday. We'll just ping pong it back and forth." And she was like, "Okay." So that's what we've been doing. Yeah,
it's great fun. It's great fun. It is just hilarious. I was dying laughing, and the rat story just had me. Rats on drugs, like.
She said, "I didn't plan this." She didn't plan it. She just was like, "Oh, this looks interesting." She just pulled up some stories and was like, wasn't even thinking we would get through any of them.
Aspen Fallen, thanks you with 5. I always de-pad my sports bras before washing them. What a nightmare. Then have to put them in after everything dries. The struggles of womanhood are real. I just don't understand why they don't sew them in. I don't get it.
You heard what Mo said about her two of her kids.
No.
They took the pads that were inside the bras, and they were wearing them as helmets, and then they were Jedi fighting.
Okay, that's almost as good as when my little girls, when they were like 4 and 8, took maxi pads and used them as Barbie beds in their doll houses.
Well, she
I was
said
like,
one of them.
What are we
One
doing
of them was
here,
using
ladies?
the applicator as a trombone. I'm just
Not
like,
tampons, maxi pads.
no, they were using tampons as
shut up.
trombones. Yes,
Stop it.
yes.
Oh, Amber Heard also uses tampons for ridiculous reasons. I don't know if you heard about the tube snorting, but apparently it makes a really good Coke tube.
I guess I don't know.
The rats might know.
I was asked the rats.
The rats. The rats.
Hey, brother, it's a party.
Bunsen Rockenstone, thanks for the Canadian 5. Is
Oh.
Papa Nut getting in on the gratuitous yoga? Can't wait. Oh my God, did you read that? Did you see that letter? The letter that Bruce
I
copied
was
me on?
watching that. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Tug was killing me. He was just like, yeah, I'll do the 32-step yoga. And he said, oh, the first step is just getting out of the chair.
Getting out of the chair. Oh, Woodward, thanks for the 5. Hey, take my cafe fund until I can afford membership. Jeff,
Oh.
hey, Papa Nut. Yeah.
It is.
Slug Entertainment says, here's the last of my food money. I'll starve till tomorrow. Hashtag free slug 2025. Listen, I've seen the food you eat. You're better off to starve. Okay. You're better off. Like just fast. Okay.
Aren't you
Until
doing
all the
a cooking
chemicals and-
stream with him?
I am. Yes. It's going to be terrible, I'm sure. At 2 p.m. tomorrow on Slug's channel, I'm going to watch him ruin musubi.
Oh,
I'm hoping to talk him through it. Actually, we're making musubi, which is a Hawaiian treat that I love and I've made for years. And he didn't know that. He just decided that's what he wanted to make. And I was like, oh, perfect. I've got the molds and everything. And then he had to 3D print a mold because he didn't have one. You need a mold to make musubi because it's like a sushi snack, but it's large. It's like this big. It's the size of a Spam slice because it's made with Spam and rice and nori. And it's delicious, but I know he's going to screw it up. I mean, there's no way he's not going to screw it up. It's going to be something terrifying. But it'll be fun to watch anyway.
that'd be wonderful.
God. All right, here we go. We'll turn Jeff back on. He's looking very confused. We need, they need that. Please don't do coke in the evidence room. We need a sign for them for the rats. Please don't do coke in the evidence room, folks.
Well, you just let people know that the rats are the ones that have the coke. I guarantee you can get rid of the rat problem really quick.
like she was talking about. Do I get contact high if we eat rats? She had a really good point about the roaches too. Like, I might eat more bugs if I knew that it might get a little buzz.
If they were like gummies. Hey, come here, you little gummy.
Well, that's what the world isn't. The WHO always trying to get us to eat more crickets and shit. Like, well,
yeah,
let them in the evidence locker first, and then maybe Americans will say yes to that. I don't know.
Per minute he was taking unassisted, sir?
Again, I'm not looking at my run report currently. I don't know off the top of my head what I have written there. It's probably that it was poor.
And
It may have been shallow. It may have been slow. It may have been fast.
And part of what you did you not, once you got him out to the truck, was to squeeze this bag to change the rate and make it regular. Isn't that right?
Trust me, you squeeze my bag, my breath is changing.
Isn't that true?
That is correct.
And as you're doing that, you had this mask on over his nose and mouth.
Please don't squeeze my bag.
And by the way, is there such a thing as a certification in pediatric advanced life support?
There is.
And as of February 4 of this year, sir, were you certified in pediatric advanced life support?
I believe I was.
You believe you were?
Well, I'd have to look at my certifications, but
Well, we can time out. Will H says this guy does not look 53. He's 53 now. When this trial was on, he was 26. This trial
would
was in
be an excellent
1997. He was
53
born
look,
in 1971.
Oh,
So he was 26 years old at this time.
Well, you
youngster.
know who is in her who is like either I think she's 60 is that Pam Bondi. Have you seen her? Her face,
Yeah.
she looks like a teenager. I want to know what plastic surgeon or skincare routine she's doing. My God, maybe she's not 60. She's in her 50s for sure.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah, she
skin
looks like
is
she's
so
50.
smooth and clear and like line free. I have a permanent frown line from watching too many trials like this.
That's why
The
she doesn't
fuck?
watch trials.
Yeah, she's a prosecutor. What do you mean? Of course she does.
Uh,
I don't know how she managed to get through her entire career without the deep frown line like I have. Seriously, it's so bad. I don't even think Botox would stop it. Like
No,
I've got one. It's like deeply embedded right here.
she might have
My
got
normal-
some Botox, a little muscle relaxer up there. I mean,
Maybe. She doesn't look like she's had Botox though, because women, when they get Botox, eventually they start to look really weird, like all the same. They all look the same, and I don't know if it's like Botox face or what, but like your eyes get a little strange looking, and like your hair gets a little strange looking. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I've never done it. I don't think I'm going
well,
to.
that's a different kind of surgery. That's the one where they stand on the back of your head and they pull all the skin back and then staple
No,
it
that's
up.
the good kind. That's the kind that, like, if it's done right, you can't tell, and there's no like after effects. Like, you don't get. It's the fillers that make you look like Janice the Muppet from the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Everyone who gets fillers ends up the stupid lips and like the big cheeks and the don't do the fillers.
No, they got the Botox injections that basically take away all the wrinkles in your forehead.
I know, but I
because
don't
all the
trust it.
muscles relax. And I was like, I'm not injecting anything into my body. like
It's
that.
botulism, like I took food safety courses. You're not supposed to go near botulism. I don't want to inject it into my face.
Yeah, that seems weird to me.
It is. It's like very strange. And now people keep telling me that they're doing Botox injections in the neck for neck pain. And that is a little tempting because I have neck pain all the time. But I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared.
He's 53 now.
Say, I was.
Okay. And now, sir, while using this bag,
Wait, speaking of being old, I have a funny old story. So that reminded me of my neck. My husband, these are things that people who are married 24 years fight about, but passively aggressively. We still haven't said anything to each other about it. It's very funny. I have a heating pad. You guys have seen it on the show. I wear it around my neck. It goes around my neck and over my shoulders. And I wear it a lot. I put it on when I'm sitting here doing streams, and I sleep with it every night wrapped around my neck. Now, I've had this thing for a long time. Recently, my husband has taken a liking to it. And he keeps taking it, like falling asleep with it. And I'm like, why are you on my heating pad? But of course, instead of saying anything to him about it, I just wait for him to get up in the morning, and then I take it. And then I hide it. And then he's doing the same thing. He's finding it and taking it. It's like whoever has it last gets it. But when he goes and he buys, I guess he tried to buy one for himself, and he bought a different kind. He bought like the kind that's just a long pad that goes, and it doesn't get as hot. So he doesn't like it. So now he's taking mine. And I'm like, why don't I just buy another one? But instead of just buying another one, we're just going to keep doing this and getting angrier and angrier every day. We're going to
And then it's going to die one day. It's going to stop working, and you're both going to be frustrated.
He doesn't like the new one because he says it doesn't get hot enough. But I think mine is actually so old that it's getting too hot and it's almost burning, and it's going to start a fire or something.
Around your neck. You'll wake up and your hair will be,
no!
Megan shows up one day, her hair's gone.
So if you want to get this heating pad that is so awesome, it's on my Amazon list. If you go to my link tree, it's probably not in the description. Mods, if you have my link tree, you can drop it there. My Amazon wish list is there. It is a great heating pad, but still, we still haven't said a word to each other about this fight we have going on with the thing. It's been going on for like 2 weeks now.
Oh my God.
No one said anything about it.
That is so funny because my wife does the same damn thing to me. Like I'm sitting there going, where did this disappear to? And next thing I know is it could be something as simple as like a charging cord or something like that. I'm like, where did my charging cord go? And she'll be over there like on her iPad with it, just like, and I'm like, my phone is about dead. You have the only, well, order some more. I'm like, Jesus.
I'm totally gonna have to get another one because he likes the one that I have, and I like the one I have too. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. But I've been kind of waiting to see, like, is he really gonna fall asleep with that? He knows I sleep with it every night, and yep, he just takes it. It's like, damn it.
Mask device. It's part of your duty as a paramedic to make certain that the airway did not
over a
become
$30
obstructed.
heating
Isn't that
pad.
true?
That is correct.
And that nothing
Can you imagine?
go down
Yes,
the
Swamp Bear the
airway.
Master.
Yes.
Can you imagine, Your Honor? He kept taking my heating pad. I couldn't take it anymore.
Well, just imagine if you get a female in there, she'll probably be just like ranted, and you're getting everything.
Spousal support forever.
Massachusetts people are the
that might
Scottish of
interfere
America.
with the patient's
Scottish
respiration. Isn't that true?
Well, our job is to ensure a patent airway,
And a
an
patent
open airway.
A patent airway means an unobstructed one.
Correct.
And there are there not? Well, one concern about a way that the airway could become obstructed or impeded would be if the child were to vomit again.
That would be a concern, yes.
And that would be because the vomit, if it came up through his esophagus, could then go down
It
his
looks like
airway.
he's smelling his fingers all the
That true?
time.
That is correct.
And isn't it true that you've heard
When you have
used a
allergies, though,
stethoscope
like I
at some
do,
point to
it's
listen to
always
his
like
chest?
I believe it was my
I'm always
partner who
worried
listened
that
to it,
it's
but yes, it
dripping,
was used.
you know?
And
Yeah.
noted that you heard
He's just like,
bronchi. Isn't that right?
Again, yes, my partner was the one who auscultated or actually listened to the lung sounds, but yes, that in fact is right.
And you noted bronchi
That is correct in my report.
based on his report about what he was hearing.
That is correct.
And bronchi are sounds, rough sounds that you hear in the child's lungs. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
Oh boy.
There are
Keeps
small.
looking at you so.
Okay, I'm going to make a small minor gripe here. This is my thing. I'm a big courtroom decorum guy.
Yeah, Jeff hates it when people cross their legs on the
And
stand.
maybe it's just because of my life here in Korea. In Korea, the judges are super strict on what you wear and what you do in the courtroom. You know, lawyers are required suits and ties. Well, I mean, that's just kind of standard. But you know, I mean, you just don't cross your legs in court, is what I'm saying. And that's my gripe here with this guy. It's a terribly minor gripe, but it did just kind of make me go, ugh. This is a formal legal proceeding, and I think you should act like it. And he just watching him burdensomely cross his leg in that cramped space just kind of made me wince a little bit.
he's young.
So, maybe I'm
And he's
nitpicking, but
uncomfortable. He's been sitting there a
that's
while.
just my thing.
Yeah.
Well, while we're stopped here, we got Brummy Nan of 9. Brummy Nan of 9. Brummy Nan of 2. We got that out of the way. Shelby Fogg. That button gets you the most. My favorite button. Yeah, we explained.
Jeff is reminding me it's time to read my super chats. He's
Okay.
so much better at this than I am. He is. I'll just sit here and like not see, not do it.
Everybody's better than than I am.
Jay Hip, thanks for the 10. Here's all my money going broke. LOL, love you, bud. You're not supposed to send me all your money. I said ramen money, not all your money, ramen money. No, wait, not ramen money. You're supposed to send me your coffee money, not ramen money. That's if you're starving, don't do it unless you're Slug and he needs to take a break from the crap he eats. Kimberly Ray, thanks for the 2. Thank you for everything you do. We love y'all. Well, I love you too.
Aw,
All right, let's see.
I love them.
We explained that. And Read by Nature says, start you off. Yeah, we've only got one. We've only got one. So we got 26 minutes to get 20 more to force me to do an early shot. Hey, you started this off. Whether there's any takers, whether anybody wants me to do an extra, it's just stupid gold. Just do what you will with it. It's just there for fun, for giggles. But crossing your legs in court is not giggle. I just don't like it. I don't know why I paused to mention that. It just kind of hits me the wrong way. It's there's a woman whose life is literally on the line here, and you're just crossing your legs in court like it's like you're just sitting around the coffee break room. And I don't like it.
Tubes or passageways within the lungs.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And if those have fluid in them, then that makes this ronchi sound, rough sound. Right?
That is correct.
And as far as you know, that could well have been vomit.
It could have been anything with a fluid consistency. Yes.
And
could have been baby milk.
It was
Could have been
part
cat
of your
urine. We
concern
don't
as a
know.
paramedic to
Could have
prevent,
been
if you
water
could,
from.
That looks like a yogurt cup.
any incident while a child was in your
That's a
care
Dixie cup.
A
on the
Dixie
way to the
cup.
hospital to prevent vomit from going down his airway.
That is correct.
And are there
Dog snoring.
devices that you use
Dog
for that purpose?
snore.
Several.
Okay. Your
Aw,
Honor, I don't know if
Yoda.
you want to do this before the break or after. I can go get the devices now, or
I miss the
if
dogs.
I may.
Yeah.
Nickel, I did not get a message from Kay. Where would I be looking for a message from Kay? I got no messages anywhere.
This guy has amazing hair. Andrew something. What are we doing? A demonstration?
All right, here's the devices. And apparently Texas limits you to only
It's
6 of these
demonstratives.
devices.
Yes. So the
But
witness
Texas
can
only
get
lets you have
them, Your
6.
Honor.
Open up, dildo police.
Now, if you could take a moment, Mr. McNiff, and if you would.
Jeff is being very pedantic. There's just
what
thing
you
about
referred
courtroom
to as
decorum that I
OPA
like.
From the bags and boxes you got there,
Look at that old
and
TV.
the scope
Yep.
and the blade
Oh, yeah.
that was referred to
The
on direct,
screen
I have
is like
nothing
this
from Kay
big.
on Twitter.
And that was big
and the
then.
tube.
And that's for the jury. We've already watched something on it earlier. Like that's for them to look at. Like I don't know how they could even see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, look, he's
A new one just
demonstrating
came in.
things.
Nope. Okay, look, just as a quick disclaimer for anybody that sends me anything on Twitter, you have to make sure you do not send it to Legal Vices. Do not send it
Oh,
to
yeah, that
Legal
poor
Vices
guy.
on Twitter. Send it to the Legal Vices on Twitter. Kay, did you send it to Legal Vices or did you send it to the Legal Vices?
Yeah, I've done that a few.
If you send it to Legal Vices, it went somewhere completely different.
Mhm.
Legal Vices on Twitter is a BBW escort and video service in Las Vegas. It's a
Yeah, and you know what?
BBW escort and porn
You
video
know what?
service. So
Oh God.
when Jeff when it was announced that Jeff had died, I noticed that the channel on Twitter, Legal Vices, that is not Jeff, they privated their account. They must have gotten so many tweets that they got sick of it. And they had to hide their account.
I'm just
That was really-
picturing. Oh, condolences to Jeff. Condolences to Jeff. It's just like, who's this Jeff guy?
Well, they figured it out by now, I'm sure. Because people are always doing that. Slug, you're a mess. This is a ridiculous thing. What the heck? Why did you put my head on a duck or a gosling? What is that? A gosling? And not
A goose?
Not a Ryan Gosling, a little baby goose. Why would you do such a thing? This is so weird. This is
Is
so
that a goose
bizarre.
or is it a pigeon?
I don't know. I don't- There's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with Zoomers or millennials or whatever it is.
So if you send it to the Legal Vices, that's who got it. I mean, I would get it. If you send it to if you send it to the Legal Vices, I get it. If you send it to Legal Vices,
he just screwed it up himself.
So that's just a
funny.
That's just a little disclaimer there. So make sure you send it to anything on Twitter to the Legal Vices. Otherwise, a BBW escort and porn video service in Las Vegas gets it. This is his tackle box. He's going to show us his lure collection.
ASMR, a little ASMR.
He's looking for the
action
right
here.
lure for the weather conditions.
If you,
I can open these. I
put
just
them
don't
all
know what's
aside. You don't need to take them out at the moment. If you just put them aside, collect them.
He's chosen a clear spinner, apparently.
Well, in regards to the OPA, again, measurements for insertion are done patient by patient, so I can't obviously give you the exact size that was used.
For once, a corn site will be spammed, lol.
Oral, pharyngeal.
Thanks, I wish I was drunk.
Yeah, that'll be new.
No, that seriously looks exactly like the tackle
Payback.
box I used to have. Same color and everything back when I lived in the States as a young lad and was fishing all the time.
Yeah.
Jill M says your tackle box is bigger. Lol.
Lol. Oh, it's a dodo bird?
Now
How dare
we've got
you?
it.
How dare you, slug? There is only so much abuse with which I will put up.
Give her more. Give her more, is what she
I'm
said.
not showing that on stream, but thanks, KLF.
Oh, look, he has a tool pouch.
Didn't
I have
need
one
to
of
see
those.
that.
Keep all my wrenches in
This
there.
actually looks a lot like one of my pipe cases. Like when I go on trips,
I could see that.
It looks like one of my pipe cases.
Gosh, he had quite the pipe collection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He had some
Ooh,
really
26
cool
and
ones.
married.
One you would have used.
Sorry, ladies.
You may not know exactly which one.
These are collars to put around your dog. Guessing.
Okay.
I don't know what any of this is. I guess he's going to tell us. Is there
What's going on here?
something to do with breathing apparatus?
Those are probably a tube, like a breathing tube that you would
Yeah.
put down someone's throat.
Whatever it is he's showing.
Now, if you would, sir, you mentioned that the OPA stands for oral pharyngeal airway. Is that right?
That is correct.
And
Because that's what I tell my girlfriend.
could you
Connor's in the chat. He's newly minted with a powerful wrench. So he says, if I mass ban or random messages sent for me, apologies in advance. I'm tired. Yeah, I bet you are. Did you finish work? Are you done for the day? We're watching your dad.
Or do like Brandon Lesko, like have the stream on and randomly ban people while it's in your back pocket and shifting
Oh,
around.
Jeff did that to me. Jeff sleep modded. He would delete people in his sleep, and I would see as I'm streaming and like I see him in the chat, and then I see that he deleted something, and I'm like, oh, Jeff, what are you deleting? I'm like, hey, Jeff, you're still here. And then no answer. And someone else is like, hey, so-and-so, Jeff deleted somebody. I'm like, wait, what? How did that happen? I'm like, oh my God, he's sleeping. He rolled over on his phone. I guarantee it.
Yep.
Oh, so funny.
Oh, gosh.
The sleep modding was epic, and also falling asleep on the stream. That was one of my favorites.
Oh.
I would love watching Jeff. One time on a different stream, we were doing court coverage of something, and it was pretty late at night for him. And he had come over, I think, to my channel. He would fall asleep sitting up. And, and he would just be there, and all of a sudden it would be like, Jeff.
Yeah.
Am I boring you? You know?
No. That was because he was doing so much. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Busy.
I know. He never slept. And what the hell, Slug? Oh my God. Why are you making these bizarre images with my head on them? He cannot be controlled, this kid. I don't know what his problem is, but he now has me in a pan in soup. He's cooking me in soup or something. I don't know. It's very bizarre.
Pull that up.
No, that was the Timu ad.
May that be circulated to the jury?
That is a. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. Damn it! This is a serious case about a murdered 9-month-old baby. I need to stop making G-spot jokes. Shame on me.
Shame on me.
All right, what next?
So
Now,
shameful.
If you could again just tell the jury, please.
That's
sir,
awesome.
What is it that's for?
That airway that the jury is now viewing is used amongst the basic life support and advanced life support EMTs and paramedics. It is inserted, as you can notice by the shape, it assists in keeping the tongue from blocking air passage into the trachea.
So
no, paralegal is there is not a TikTok person moaning in the court. That is just that's just the pig dog. That's Strawberry snoring.
So if you visualize the patient's mouth, the tongue in the normal position does not obstruct the airway. It's
Correct.
forward in the mouth, and it doesn't impede the airway.
Yes.
Now it's true when you refer to securing the airway that you would use this device to prevent the tongue from in any way going backward and covering the top of the airway.
In some cases, yes, it is used.
And it's true, is it not, that you may attempt to use it upon Matthew Beepin on February 4, 1997?
That is correct.
And was it a device approximately that size that's now circulating to the jury?
Probably a little smaller, but within that aspect of shape, yes.
Okay. And that's made of plastic?
Yes. I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know. It could be
I don't make
plastic.
these. I just use
It could
them.
be polyurethane. It could be styrofoam.
I
mean,
really don't understand where the defense is going with this. I don't know where they're going with this. Is he suggesting that the paramedics killed the kid? Like with using these things? Like, I don't know what he's spending so much time on this. It's like, where are we? I think the other witnesses are going to be more important. Like, you know, this is the paramedics. What are we learning here?
Really, I think the defense counsel is asking a lot of not so important questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff and I always agreed. It's like, come on.
Nothing the prosecution has said so far leads us any further down the path towards proving that Woodward committed this murder. But by the same token, nothing the defense is asking in these cross-examination questions lead us further away from her doing. He's just asking about equipment. I don't know the size and shape of the object that moves the tongue out of the way. I don't know why.
Right, that's what
important.
you don't want to have as a board jury.
I mean, it's technically relevant, I guess, but I don't know why it's important. I don't know why we're getting bogged down in these details. I would like him to speed this up a bit so he doesn't lose the jury. Because I think the jury is just kind of going, all right, we're getting the ins and outs of the paramedics tackle box.
If you could, sir, is the scope?
I'm sure there's a few on the jury like, I'd like to get his box.
Hold that up so the jury can see it. And if we can just describe that for the record, it's a kind of an L.
We'll put a label on it, so it'll be part of the record. But
yeah, he's getting annoyed by these questions too.
I wasn't proposing to leave it here, Your Honor. I think they need it. So
you need it?
I think that the ambulance people need that.
The equipment that was brought here today, Your Honor.
Well, yes, Island, we have trimmed. I trimmed the beard down a little bit because I got a lot of important appointments this week. A lot of important business appointments, so we trimmed up the beard a little bit.
So if you could just hold that up again. Now is that a pediatric scope?
It is.
And what's the name of that?
This is the laryngoscope handle, the laryngoscope blade. The blade presently on here is a Miller 0.
And what is the scope handle made out of?
Oh
That
my
one in
God.
your hand?
Why does that matter?
Made out of steel?
He's like, I don't make this
I would
shit.
imagine so. I just use the equipment they provide for me. I'm not really sure what it's made from.
Steel or chrome.
And
See, why does this matter? Why does it matter if it's steel?
It doesn't.
Why does it matter if it's chrome plated? Why does it matter if it's titanium? These types of questions don't necessarily matter. And I think the jury is asking the same questions. So I think we're running the risk of, seriously at this point, running the risk of not alienating the jury, but just letting them phase it out. They're just phasing out. They're just kind of going somewhere else. So when you ask an important question, they're not going to be paying attention.
the blade itself is also metal?
It looks that way to me.
Look at me questioning the cross-examination techniques of one of the leading defense lawyers in America. Yeah, you better listen to me, buddy. I know what I'm talking about.
Again, I don't know.
And the blade has this a small light bulb that operates on the end.
That is correct.
And
Well, before we talk about anything going down anybody's throat, I'm told the jurors lunch.
No, Judge. No.
Phrasing.
Judge cannot say before we talk about anything going down anyone's throat. Oh, so he's gonna send them off to lunch so that they can jam stuff down their throats. Judge, no, you can't say that, Judge.
Pause. We'll mark the laryngoscope handle and blade as one exhibit D for identification. And at the appropriate time, we'll take a photograph of all of these items. Do not discuss your testimony, please, Mr. McNiff, with anybody except Mr.
It's like, I don't know. I'd be embarrassed to tell anybody about my testimony in this. Oh my God.
1:30.
All right. All rise for the lunch break. Jury, proceed to jam stuff down your throat. Got a gag on my toothbrush. Yeah, me too. I have a really, really shallow gag reflex, like a surprisingly shallow gag reflex. All right, they're back from lunch.
So
And
I was
we've got microphone
watching
cords
the
duct taped to the floor. I don't know.
The Headseth confirmation hearings, and within
Yeah.
like the first 20 minutes, you have this. I forget his name. It was Green or something like that. Says because he's talking about JAG officers, and he turns to Headseth and he goes, "So what's a JAG off?" And I'm just like,
He meant a JAG officer, right?
yeah, that's what he meant. And
The
Headseth,
JAG,
of course,
JAG is the legal team
Yeah,
in the military.
yeah, it's the so. But he goes, "What's a JAG off?" And I could have sworn that he kept the straightest face. Headseth kept the straightest face. I was like, "Oh my God, what a good poker player!" Because he stopped for a second to let it sink in before he answered, and because I could see him just it was spinning in his head. He just wanted to say, "Well, you are." I could see it spinning there. He was just like, "Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!"
Yeah, that's a pretty bad misstatement.
Oh,
How do you get to be on the Senate and not know what a JAG officer is? How
Well,
do you
he
get
knows
that
what
far
he,
in
well, he
life?
knew what it was. He knew exactly what it was, but they misspoke a few times and said words that don't work because they're reading it off of a little script.
Right, they have a script. Right. Oh God, there's not a whole lot of IQ points put together in that Senate chamber.
Yeah.
It's all about the money and who you know. It's not really about how smart you are, which is really unfortunate. Smart people don't want to run for office because it's terrible. You know, all it is fundraising and scamming people. So smart people are like, yeah, I'd rather just build my own life and make my own thing and not be, you know, at the trough for the rest
Or
of my life.
stabbing each other in the back like a bunch
Right.
of like gladiator games or something.
Trying to set each other up for who can get the best blackmail video at the sex party, you know, like, you know, I can't imagine that life. Like, oh, and you always have to look out for the honeypot. Like there's always a honeypot trying to get you to go to a sex party, and like, and it's all Epstein's people, and they're all filming everything. Like, I just can't even imagine. Like, no, give me a bunko night any day with the moms in the suburban neighborhood, okay? Because
Exactly.
Whatever's going on there, I want nothing to do with.
Yeah, it makes me think of itchy, like lower nether regions, and I don't want to run into those problems.
I mean, remember what recently happened in one of those Senate chambers? Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Do you recall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Videos and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they were pleased with themselves. As just imagine the person whose desk that was at.
And the Senate showers, there's like congressional showers and like people taking pictures of themselves in there and putting them out on Grindr. Like, what? I don't know what's going on at the Capitol, but I want no part of it. None.
Oh.
Ew. It's just, there's got to be like crabs just running around wild there. Just wild.
Like, well, if Hunter was there, then it was probably rats.
Rats and crabs just everywhere. That place needs to be fumigated.
If you've noticed those before, I keep noticing them. But hey, we got the court reporter here with her beehive hairdo, kind of the remnant from the late 80s. She's hanging on to it. She's not letting it go, but she's got those gray stockings on. For this, let's go.
Gray stockings does it for him. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
When we,
I'm listening. Sorry, excuse me.
When we took a break, I believe you were showing the jury the scope with the blade on it. Is that a pediatric scope?
Yeah, he said that already.
It is a pediatric handle and a pediatric
They just
blade,
came
yes.
back from lunch.
And are the blades manufactured in sizes?
There are two different manufacturers with sizes according to each manufacturer, yes.
But there's a range of sizes of blades.
That is correct.
And is it correct to say that you used either a size 0 or a size 1 in this instance?
That is correct.
And
he already said it was a 0.
That up again with the scope and the blade. What size blade is that?
That is a 0.
He already said that. That's the third time he's asked.
Slightly larger.
For this style of miller, the 1 would be larger, yes.
And what you're holding up is approximately what you used to treat Matthew Eaton.
I don't recall exactly which blade I had in my hand, but yes, it'd be similar to this.
Okay. And you can put that down now. And what you do
Thank you.
is it true that you position yourself behind? Let me see. The child is lying down on his back. Is that right?
That is correct.
And you didn't do this on the floor in the house. Is that right?
All right, what's going on with what guy's hair? You mean the paramedic's hair on the other side when he turns his head? I think he's having what we would say was a gel failure. He put gel in his hair in the morning, but he might have missed a spot and it's starting to poof up on one side.
Yeah, so he probably combed it all back and then put like the little part in there.
Yeah.
He probably went on his lunch break and fell asleep and just
maybe he slept on it. But it looks like, well, it's on this side. Looks like it's coming up a little bit here. Like he's having a gel failure. Always put more gel than you think you need, so it will last all day. That's my hair tip for the day.
That is correct.
First, the child was removed to the truck.
I'm getting a pretty good gel cast. My hair is still drying. It's a little crunchy, but I can't scrunch it out till it's dry.
Before you did that, you observed the cerebral posture.
Yes.
And now, you position yourself, I started to say, with the child on his back. And are you positioning yourself sort of above the child's head, if that makes sense?
Are we now speaking of the time that I was in the ambulance?
Yes.
I was at the head of the child, yes.
And that means the child is lying before you with his feet extended away from you and his head nearest you.
That is correct.
And you assume that position. Are you on your knees?
At the time, I probably was on my knees, the child being elevated.
This guy, the defense attorney, you're right. He does look like he has a woman's haircut from that time era. And it's like Sally Jesse Raphael. That's the
There
kind
you
of
go.
haircut he's got. His name is Andrew something. I've forgotten his last name now. Does anybody remember his last name? We talked about him extensively. I even looked him up on Google, and now I don't remember his name.
He was that memorable.
Yeah, he's so memorable. He's not, not Barry. By the way, this is Barry right here. Here's Barry. Do you see Barry over here? There he is. Oh, I should bring out my drawing. So here we go. Let's see.
Oh, yours is different than mine.
Yeah, I need a different. I don't like this one as much. Oops, that's silly. That's way too big. Why is that so big? Why is that so big?
I get that problem all the time. What you want to do is you want that little thing that says
brush
thick.
width. Okay,
There
let's
you
see. How
go.
are we now? A little bit better. And I don't. Why is the color not changing when I ask it to? All right, there we go. How do I get rid of this thing? Hide this thing. There we
And
go.
now you can't draw.
This right here is Barry. That's him. In case you were wondering, it's this guy here. All right, this is Woodward, Louise Woodward. She's the nanny. And this woman has a kind of unfortunate haircut over here. This is too short. I like a pixie, but this is
That's
very,
not a
very
pixie.
short.
That's
It
very
is-
masculine.
It
Like-
is. It's
like-
a little
like-
short.
Like ladies, if you're going to do a pixie cut and you want it to look sexy, you got to like do the pixie cut that looks hot.
Well,
look.
maybe she, in her defense, maybe she was trying out for the community theater Peter Pan. Isn't that they
Or
always
Winona.
they always cast a woman in Peter Pan, and they always have them with the shaved short hair. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't just cast a little boy as Peter Pan. I've never understood
No,
why
this
it's
is-
always a woman.
This was about the time that Winona Ryder was doing would have been doing Edward Scissorhands, where she,
I just saw that movie for the first time the other day. Isn't that
Aw,
crazy that I've never
that
seen
is so
Edward
crazy.
Scissorhands? But I have decided it's a really good Christmas movie, and I
is.
will probably watch it every year. I loved it. I didn't think I was going to like it because I really don't like Tim Burton. So I just avoid Tim Burton movies because I just don't like them. The ones I've seen, I don't like. Like I didn't like Sleepy Hollow. I didn't like the Barber one. I just got, Sandy Duncan. Thank you. I was thinking of Sandy Duncan. This hairstyle
Yeah.
totally reminds me of Sandy Duncan. Yes.
No, Sandy Duncan had a nice pixie haircut. I mean, it was
It was
short, but
pretty
it was
short.
it was pretty short, but it wasn't shaved out.
And she played Peter Pan, I do believe.
Yeah.
Elevated on the stretcher.
And when the child is in this, was the child was still in this surrogate position at the time?
Was he still posturing?
Yes. Once you start, you don't stop, do you?
No. I would say yes, the child was still posturing. At this
Swan Lake lady. Good to see you in chat, by the way. So did you think Johnny Depp has real scissors as fingers? Like other people we know?
Oh God. Oh.
Oh, remember that? That was one of the greatest things ever. I would really like to, I'm waiting to meet the one person who might have thought that Johnny Depp actually had scissors for fingers. Flux, you had a pixie cut? Oh, I need to see the picture now. What do you mean remind you to I'm
Yeah.
telling you now, just send it. I had one too. I had a pixie cut too. I looked like a boy. It was terrible. I looked awful. Never
Now, see,
again.
I could see Flux with a pixie cut.
I want to
that's
see
the
that,
thing.
but I definitely looked awful. It made me look so fat. I do not have the right face shape or neck for that. I have to hide this shit. Like my neck needs to be as not visible as possible. So I cannot go any shorter than about here.
Well, it's funny. My wife keeps going. I liked your long hair because whenever we met, I had long. Well, whenever she first saw me, I had hair that was probably down to my waistband, and that was after I had gotten it trimmed after, I don't know, 13, 14 years, something like that. And so, whenever we first started dating, I had a ponytail that I cut off, so my hair was about shoulder length. and she said it multiple times. She's like, "Ah, I miss your long hair." And I go, "Yeah, but the only problem is it's all gray now. So if I grow out my hair, I'm going to look like some old hippie."
Yeah, because it'll be all unruly.
Yeah.
Speaking of glorious hair, though, Flux, oh my gosh, she looks like Lady Godiva with her hair
I
down.
know.
I was sharing a hotel room with her. She took it all out. It was just all like just beautiful, and it goes all the way down. Like she has incredible hair. It's beautiful, and she keeps it in those cool braids all the time. But when she takes them out, man, she does. She looks like something out of a Camelot movie. Ellie Fant, thanks to the 5, says, "What's the Cliff Notes version of this case? I haven't heard about it." 1997. Woodward v. Massachusetts. Louise Woodward, the girl in the suit over here. All the women were wearing menswear back then. It was a big thing. She was a nanny. She was a nanny. The 9-month-old baby that she was watching had trouble. She had trouble feeding him. And then he started having seizures. That's her story. They started having seizures, and she didn't know what was wrong and called 911. Well, the baby died, and they accused her of killing the baby with shaken baby syndrome. She, of course, says that's not what happened at all, and he was not abused. And shaken baby syndrome really became a thing after this trial. So we're going to find out. Jeff wanted us to watch it because he said it was, there's some really interesting questions about, was this a false accusation? And was it a cover up for the parents maybe, or something else? I don't know. Torin 3, thanks for the 10. Watching last night's stream, I was sad to realize I'm such a poor friend. The BBB has never emailed me. I need to step up my game. You're getting 2 braids now. 1 traditional pattern and 1 custom. Oh, Torin, that's so sweet of you. I appreciate that. But yeah, Bruce is going to all my friends, just trying to wreck me with that yoga defamation. Apparently,
Oh my gosh.
doing yoga is really offensive.
Well, especially if you're laughing at uncomfortable situations, you're a bad, evil, horrible person, Megan, and you should never laugh at somebody's like ignorance and silliness.
Oh my God, Flux, that is an adorable pixie cut. You look so cute. Can I show them? Can I show them? Come on. It's so cute. Where are you, Flux? Can I show the chat? This is the cutest haircut ever.
You got to embiggen if you're going to do that.
I know, I will. If she says I can. Where is she? She disappeared. She sent it and then she disappeared. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. Flux, we're waiting on you. Can I show the picture? It's so cute.
She's typing it all out.
How long ago was this? She's so cute. She disappeared. She's just like, I'm out.
Like, I'll send you the picture.
You were only 14 in this picture? Oh, this is so cute. I have to ask her if I can show that. I'm texting her now because she's like not in the chat. No, she wasn't blonde. Oh, yeah, she says I can. Okay, good. All right. This is so cute. We're all
embiggen. Yes.
Wait. Oh, wait, it's not gonna. It's too bright.
No, it looks like you can't even see her face. It just looks like
it. Oh,
she
no.
looks like she's got a raccoon on her head.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. What a bummer.
What you do is
you know what? I'll put it in the locals chat. That's what I'm gonna do.
There you go. There you go.
All right, MeganFox.locals.com. If you want to see Flux in a pic, I'm gonna grift on your pixie cut. If you want to see Flux in a pixie cut, God, this is cute. What a cute picture. You're going to have to go on locals, MeganFox.locals.com. I'm going to put it in the live chat that I have going right now, actually. Why won't it download? All right, we'll put this back on while I figure it out.
This time, I was more concentrated on the airwaves.
Okay. And it's true, is it not, that you've described the arm positioning in the decerebrate posturing. Is it also true that the child's head, when posturing, would be back, that is, with the chin pulled up?
Yes, that is correct.
And Now, again, we're now behind the child's head with his feet extended in front of us. And are you going to insert this, attempt to insert this, first this, let me see if I can pronounce it correctly, oral pharyngeal airway, the OPA?
At that time, correct.
That's the first thing you did?
That is correct.
And again, the purpose of this is to assure a secure airway. Correct?
Correct.
And you understood, did you not, from your training, that this posturing indicated that this child was in
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a meme copium sighting. Meme copium. If you for all of your needs, for all of your dark side of the internet and intrigue streams, you want to make sure you get on over to meme copium. Meme copium, welcome to chat. That kid in the pinstripe suit is the defendant. She's a 19-year-old accused of shaking a 9-month-old child to death. But the defense is those injuries were suffered long before she was accused of this. So it's an open question. This is a trial from 1997.
I agree with Caroline. This
Gave
lawyer
rise
is
to
driving me crazy. Not Jeff, the defense lawyer.
I don't know if it's the coining of the term or the popularization of the term shaken baby syndrome. This is the trial.
Fair to say critical condition?
In my training, I would say
bake syndrome.
Critical condition.
And that the cerebral posturing is indicates that he had a global head injury. That is, that he had a brain injury above the that involved the brain above the brainstem level at that point.
In our training, posturing coincides with a head injury.
And you understood that at that time that the child was in a life-threatening situation at that moment. Isn't that true?
To me, the child seemed like he was in a life-threatening situation, yes.
And obviously his situation, he could not, it would do him no good to have anything further happen to him, including compromising his airway.
I would say compromise to anyone's airway wouldn't help them.
Right. And you understood in particular that.
Good point there, sir. See, this is why the defense needs to get to the point and sit down.
Get to the point.
Because he just got owned hard there. Yeah, I think obstructing anyone's airway is a bad thing for that particular
Look at
person.
the guy's face too. Look at the freeze frame that Jeff
So,
got.
yeah,
He's
you know,
like,
Yep.
And we've still got
Just
another
like,
20
I did that for you, buddy.
18 minutes to go with this guy. And well, that's going to include any redirect there is, but I can't see him need to redirect on anything. He's not asked anything particularly damaging to the prosecution's case. Just what's in your tackle box? What's this piece of equipment called? What's it made out of? He's losing whatever momentum he's built up.
Any interference with this patent airway, given his already critical condition, would certainly be a very, very bad situation for him. Isn't that true?
Interference with his airway, I would say. Well, I'm not sure I exactly understand the question.
If, for example, his tongue were to go back over and cover up his airway so that it no longer was functioning, that would have been a very dangerous situation. It made the bad situation go from very bad to even worse.
Potentially it could, yes.
And it's also true that were he to vomit and aspirate vomit, and in the process compromise his airway, that also would have been a further complication of his already dangerous condition. Isn't that true?
Yes, vomit could have.
And it's true then that you considered it to be urgent to prevent either the tongue from falling back over the top of the airway. It's true. That's what you were there to do, isn't it?
Was that my means for securing his airway?
No, wasn't it urgent that you accomplish a means to assure that his tongue would not obstruct his airway?
The OPA is used in conjunction with preventing his tongue to stop from going to the back of his
But in
airway in
terms
some
of your own
cases.
sense of urgency about getting that done, you felt a considerable sense of urgency to get that done, did you not?
I did feel an urgency to secure his airway, yes.
And that included inserting this OPA if you could. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
And it also included.
Sort of
intubating
reminds
him.
you of the whole George
Correct.
Floyd, or is that right?
Now,
George Floyd
Sir,
thing.
prior to Matthew Eapen, sir, how many infants under the age had you intubated before?
Under the age of what?
Under the age of 1?
I would have to research my records to come up with an accurate number. Less than 10.
Okay, so now this is sort of kind of a relevant question.
Finally.
But it's buried in
Why
all
did
of
we
this
have
other
to
shit he's been
Other
asking.
bullshit.
So
All of that.
the jury's been sitting here for 30 minutes going,
Remind-
okay, this is
reminds
an
me
important
of
question.
another
This is not
attorney
an
I
important
know.
Question. This is not an important question. This is not an important question. This is not an important question. And so the next question that comes up, they might automatically be thinking this is not an important question. Whereas this is actually a fairly important question. What is his experience in intubating a child under 1? Did he do it correctly? Did he do something wrong? Does he have the proper training and qualification to intubate an infant?
Maybe.
But
Why did
you
we have
know,
to
I
go
mean,
over
he's done
the
less than 10,
device?
but this may be
Well,
lost on the
here's
jury.
here's the thing.
Is it a foundation issue? Like, I guess, so the jury knows what you're talking about, but you could have got there a lot quicker.
Well, and it reminds me of another attorney that we've listened to recently in depositions. So same kind of thing. But also, this sort of brings back that whole, the stuff with George Floyd. Everybody's saying, oh, it's because there was a knee on his back, blah 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 blah. But then whenever you start digging into it, it's just like, yeah, they've got medical examiners stuff that was never even shown. So more than likely, Chauvin is going to get out of jail over all of this because of withholding of evidence that would have shown that this was caused by something else. I mean, maybe that's why Jeff was showing this, because that stuff was coming up.
I don't know. I just think he could have got there a whole lot quicker.
They might not be in a position to go, perhaps he did something wrong. They're just going to be going, okay, another unimportant question. That's the problem I have with not staying focused and keeping it short and sweet as possible.
And could it be as little as 1?
It could be less than 10. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
I'm asking you, could it be as little as 1?
Well, I think I do
Very simple. Fewer than 10, is it that right?
fewer than 10.
More than 1?
I've attempted more than 1, yes.
Thank you, Ron.
And I do like that this is probably the most interactive judge that we've covered on any trial we've done in the last 2.5 years on this little old channel of mine. So I do like this. I like the judges getting involved. The judge is paying attention. The judge is asking questions to sort of streamline it and speed it up.
Now, the jury has seen this OPA. Do you assume that position that we already described over the baby's head in order to attempt to insert the...
Oh, wow. I got to pause here real quick. KY says, I'm late to the show, but didn't they come out this year and find out that a lot of these shaken baby cases were scientifically debunked? Without spoiling anything in the outcome, there was one of the expert witnesses, one of the experts that was called to testify.
Yeah.
That did say if they knew then what they know now, they would have testified differently in the case.
Yeah.
That is an
Yikes.
interesting thing.
That's a
That
big
is so
thing.
sad.
You can't expect witnesses to testify.
I don't know what happened in this case, but I know that so many people were convicted of shaken baby syndrome, like of murder because of shaken baby. And that is just tragic. In fact, there's a case with Sally Smith the doctor from the child abuse pediatrician from the Kowalski case. She put a guy in jail for shaking baby, and he's been fighting it for years, appealing on all the new science, and he can't get a new trial. It's insane. Anybody who is sitting in jail right now for shaking baby needs to get a new trial, because the science shows that it's almost never shaken baby. Like it was junk science to begin with. There shouldn't be anybody sitting in jail for this.
It could
without
be
a
any
new trial.
number of things. It could be any number of things. I mean, it's one of those back way back before any of us were wee children. They believed that that cats would suck the souls out of babies. In the crib. So and it's been proven that that's not the case. Cats don't suck souls. Only redheads do, but that's okay.
Based on things that are only going to be known 30 years in the future, 7 years in the future. So, I mean, there are some interesting things about when we look back and we see, okay, this is what we testified to, but it's not a sound testimony today. So that's one thing to bear in mind, that at least one of the expert witnesses has come forward and said that if they testified today in the same case, they would have testified differently.
Okay. Do you assume that position that is over the baby's head with the feet extending out before you to attempt to insert
The baby was in that. We were in that position collectively to insert the OPA.
And
I'll be right back
in
in a second.
understanding that you, with your hands, are the person who attempted to put the OPA in?
That would have been me, yes.
And when you did so, sir, you do that with your own fingers.
That is correct.
And the idea is to in effect push that item down into the back of the mouth and into position. Isn't that true?
God,
It is inserted and then rotated into position, yes.
Can't ask a question without
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
stuttering.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
All right, let's
even
make it
follow
relevant,
his
counselor.
questions. It's just
so
this
great.
is so bad. Oh no, now he's dropping.
So far, I
stuff.
would ask one question on redirect. I would ask the paramedic on the witness stands, although you may have done less than 10 of these, I probably wouldn't say that part, but I would say, are you fully qualified to intubate a child less than 1 year old? Yes. Okay. No further questions.
Yeah. That would be the only redirect.
I think
The
we're all
rest
caught
of
up
it's
on where
just
there's no way we're making this goal.
rambling.
Oh no, we didn't come anywhere near. We got 2 out of the 20 for the goal. No early shot for me. Apparently no second shot at all. So because there's not enough time. So no shot for me. Oh wow.
If I show you that book, is that a book that you're familiar with?
It is.
And could you tell the court and jury what that book is?
It's Advanced Cardiac Life Support.
And that's the title of it?
That is correct.
And it's published by?
American Heart Association.
And is that the book that you study and master in order to pass the certification that you referred to earlier?
It's one of them, yes.
Oh, this guy.
Damn it! I just dumped a bunch of ash on me.
Get your ass off my desk.
And so you're familiar with the contents of this book? Is something you've studied in detail?
I am.
And I'd ask you to look at page 2-5 in the book. There's an illustration there showing the scope inserted in the image's mouth.
That's correct.
And does that provide a fair and accurate representation of how the scope gets inserted?
It does.
May we go to sidebar?
Well,
Sidebar time.
Hopefully it's not a rectal scope. That would be really weird to use that on a baby's throat, but
Didn't hear you, Judge.
oh my.
Apparently, he just waved off. He said, "Nah, objection, nah, whatever." And the judge just kind of waves it off. Man, just go, just run with it. I don't care what the objection is, man.
So
The judge is as bored as we are.
this image at page 2-5,
God, I hope Barry takes over
that's
soon.
approximately the position that Matthew Eapen's head would have been in with the scope.
Ooh, Porcelain Thunder. He's got the 90s David Sanborn spackled in place hair. Nice 1990s random 1 or 2 hit saxophone player reference there.
Oh, God.
Wow. Porcelain Thunder referencing relatively obscure 1990s saxophone players. I like the way you think, Porcelain Thunder. That was a good reference.
Is an illustration of when you place the scope in his mouth and into this the back of his mouth. That's position. That's what you would see.
If I had done an exact intubation, if I had fully inserted the laryngoscope into his oral passageway, yes, I would have had him in that position.
Okay. Now, did you put the scope in?
No, I did not.
You didn't put the blade in?
Never.
So that was just kind of an unnecessary line.
You put the OPA in, is that right?
Again, the ETT and the OPA attempts were refused due to a gag reflex. They were never actually inserted into the mouth or the airway. Any attempt I made, Matthew still, moved with his tongue, so we withdrew. We didn't want to.
He was still too conscious.
Further increase
to,
our
further
problems
intubate him.
at that time.
So you're saying that that you put the beginning with the OPA, the place that his mouth was, you were able to get his mouth open, I take it. His mouth was open.
Yes, his airway was patent. His mouth was open.
Okay. And you took that OPA in your hand and plus your hand and the OPA, your tips of your fingers and this device into his mouth. Isn't that right?
I attempted to, yes.
And chin is up.
He was in what we consider the sniffing position. So
sniffing position.
And
sniffing position. It's pretty funny.
The sniffing position means that to push his nose sort of up in the air.
For us to place him in the sniffing position, yes, Matthew was already in that position.
From the posture.
I would imagine so.
So his chin is elevated and his head is back.
Well, he was just in a sniffing position.
And you opened his mouth and you attempted to place the OPA into the back of his mouth. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
And were you able to get it past the rear of his mouth at all, sir?
No, I was not.
Okay.
Did you push on it?
No, I did not.
Okay. I
You're
am
doing the same thing I am.
I am trying to get, I'm supposed to be done with this. I was going to go 2 hours and stop, but I'm giving this man the benefit of the doubt that we're going to get to the point at some point. Okay, you're pushing it in, you can't get it in. And that's what she said.
She said.
Don't understand where we're going.
Well,
can we get there faster?
At first, I thought he was going to say pushing it in through her rear because he said the rear of her mouth. I was like, oh gosh, come on.
This is just, come on.
You just hold it back.
Again, this means he's breathing sufficiently on his own. So they just use the bag compressions to
had this sense of
regulate.
urgency about securing the position of his tongue.
Well, my sense of urgency.
I'm just asking, is that true?
Yes.
Now,
oh God,
you were about to take Matthew to Children's Hospital. Is that right?
That is correct.
And is it true that before you left, there was some kind of communication that suggested that the trip would be to Newton Wellesley Hospital instead?
Oh God, here we go.
Not between myself and anyone. I think that
So wait, that was
because we
it
are a
about
city
the
vehicle
thing about-
dedicated to Newton to some.
That was the thing. That was the whole thing. That was all his questions about the device.
Yeah,
It took that long. It took that long to get that out that this was the device they used. It was the size for the baby he used, but they couldn't get it in because he was breathing on his own. That I could have had
Was
that done in less than 5 minutes of questioning.
But
Now
he had
we're
to have a
moving on
lot
to-
of ums in there.
Oh my Lord. This guy was not this bad on his opening statements. His opening statement was quite good. This is like torture. This is what they should be doing in Guantanamo Bay. I'd tell you anything to make this stop at this point. I would tell you anything. Just put this guy in front of me asking questions, and I'd be like, "What? I'll give up any secret you want, anything to make him shut up."
Yes. So annoying.
Sometimes.
It's just
So annoying.
I'm sitting there going, okay, is he getting to a point of all of this? I mean, it is just one of those where you're just like,
I'm like crawling out of my skin. Liz goes, I take it she ended up in jail with this defense. Yeah, we don't know. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I'm trying not to, no spoilers in chat, but it's not looking good for her.
It's understood that all our patients go to Newton Wellesley.
But in this instance, I think it's your call as the paramedic on the scene to decide where to go.
It's a call between my partner and myself, yes.
And you made the decision to go to Children's Hospital.
We did.
And it's correct to say that that's the route to Children's Hospital from Beamuth Road is a straight down Route 9 east.
That is correct.
No, you don't have to turn anywhere once you get on Route 9.
That is correct.
Until you get to Longwood Avenue.
oh, now we're going to give directions.
Just go straight down, and there's one left turn. Once you get on Route 9, that's it.
That's correct.
And it's
Here, can you show us on the map where he
the record
hurt
shows
you?
that it took about 11 minutes.
That's
Jesus.
correct.
And
Took
so
him
you knew
less
that
time to
it
get there
was
than
gonna
it
be
did
about
for him
11
to
minutes.
explain it to your sorry.
Right. I didn't know exactly how long it was going to take us to get there. That wasn't my
you've done this-
motivation.
It's fair to say this is not your first trip to Children's Hospital from Newton,
No, it's not my first. No.
and it's not your first trip on an emergency basis.
No, it's not.
So you know that it's approximately a 10-minute ride under the best of circumstances.
Fair enough, yes.
And you also understood, did you not, that if during the course of that ride, child's neck, or rather tongue, were to slide back over this airway, that he would be severely compromised in an already compromised position. Isn't that right?
If that happened, yes, it could further compromise him.
And it's your testimony that because of this gag reflex, you didn't, once that happened, you didn't try to push this in harder.
Because the child wouldn't accept it, no. OPA.
Just like he already asked this multiple times.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
What
sorry.
did you want me to do?
Yes, you didn't push the OPA in any harder.
Yeah,
The
like-
child wouldn't accept it. No, I did not.
And that it's true that you attempted to push it in more than once. Isn't that true?
Throughout the trip.
Where are you going with this,
the concentration
counselor?
I had
Come
on his
on,
airway,
man.
yes. At different
Exactly.
times, I reevaluated to see if there had been any change in his airway status.
And so in the moving vehicle, you were attempting to push this in every now and then.
I attempted twice, I believe. Once before we left and once while en route to Children's.
And so while the vehicle is moving, you try to push this plastic item that the jury's seen, this OPA, back in.
Well, I wouldn't say I pushed it. It was, an attempt to see if it'd go into his mouth. It never passed the area, I guess on an adult would say the teeth. I went to the side, it wouldn't take it. I didn't advance it any further and I left it alone.
And you attempted to put the scope in his mouth back before you left.
And he said yes.
Before we left, we attempted to do a view of his visual. Yes.
And you wanted to see down his windpipe, did you not?
Well, I wanted to see if I could get a view of his trachea. Yes.
And it's true that you saw
He's
down his
literally
windpipe.
dying right now.
I
can
wouldn't
see
say
your
I saw down his
soul leaving your
windpipe. I never
body.
actually did a direct view of any of his
Just like, this is so
oral
bad.
structures.
It's bad.
He's back on that damn,
testimony now that,
spatula
you
or
understood
whatever.
that
We're
there was a risk
circling.
that he
We're
was
never
gonna
gonna
vomit
land.
again.
We have that risk with every intubation. Yes.
And that, in fact, the intubation procedure is designed to protect against a child in Matthew's position vomiting and aspirating vomit, breathing it in.
It's one
Again,
of the
we
techniques
know
to prevent
this.
it, yes.
He's
Well,
already
what it
said it.
does, does
How many
not-
different ways are you going to
Put
ask the
tube
same
in a position,
question?
in the airway so that even if he vomits, there's no way the vomit's going to go down there. Isn't that right?
In his age group, yes.
And it's true that
Bye, Connor. Thanks for
your
stopping by.
main function, your main responsibility at that time, with respect to this procedure, is to protect against this vomit going down his throat. If that were to happen.
My main function was to provide ventilatory support for Matthew, in which case I was doing.
And you were doing that, but I understand. But my question is, you were also, wasn't it true that your responsibility was to put this tube in place so that if he vomited during that trip, that it wouldn't go down his airway?
It's an option I have in the back of the vehicle with somebody who is not in cardiac arrest to further secure their airway.
And your testimony is that you put the blade of the scope in his mouth to some degree.
Get with it.
Again,
we'll get there eventually.
To his mouth, but he would never
I feel
really.
like I'm
accept it
saying
until
this over and over
not
again,
past
everybody.
his lips.
And you didn't make any further effort to push this thing in further?
No, I did not.
He has said that 6 times. Where is the objection from the prosecutor already? Why isn't the prosecutor objecting? Asked and answered. Asked and answered. Are we done? Oh, he's. Oh, they are
the
going
judge
up to
wants
the
to
bench.
see folks.
Okay, finally.
Not sure what he's asking, but here we have
Look at
star lawyer,
Barry.
2 years out from the O.J. Simpson trial, Barry Scheck, and the
Scheck.
defendant there.
There you go. Now you have
Woodward.
Scheck.
Currently 19 years old here at the time of the trial.
19. Ugh. I hope the judge just told him to move on.
I think so.
Because my lord.
Because good Lord, if I was Barry, I'd be like, dude, you need to get.
Now, I think
Get
you
on
mentioned
with
on direct examination that you attempted to place an intravenous
Oh, now we're going to get
line.
on with the direct examination.
Is that correct?
I didn't attempt to place it. My partner did.
And did that occur in your presence, sir?
It did.
And that was also in the truck?
How
That is
much
correct.
longer does
And,
this guy? Oh, okay. It's almost over. It's almost done.
That did not succeed either.
We have 7 more minutes
No, it
of
did not.
this.
We did not.
And now, did your partner actually insert a needle into the anatomy of Matthew Eaton?
Oh, God.
In the intravenous
What are you
attempts,
doing,
yes, I would say he did, but I cannot speak for him.
He's resorted to self-harm.
I drove the flashlight through my head.
Okay. Dude, you got to wrap this up, man.
Yeah, land the plane.
Nothing further. Thank you.
This guy, look at
Okay,
him,
so
he's
he wrapped
rolling
this
his
up
eyes
finally.
and sighing. He can't even contain
See,
it.
that's what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The direct examination of this guy went 12 minutes. The cross-examination went nearly 52 minutes.
Oh,
and
too long.
I don't think there was anything done
We didn't learn
that would
anything.
advance this case to where it would draw an inference that maybe she didn't do this.
We learned nothing.
Yeah.
I don't understand this cross-examination. 1 or 2 questions, maybe 5 or 10 minutes of clarification questions for how he did things. And there was one important question in this whole thing. And that was the question
Are you
of
qualified?
how many children under the
Yeah.
age of 1 have you tried to intubate?
Yeah.
And but I think that the jury just blew through that. It's like, all right, I've been
It
listening
was-
to a bunch
it was-
of junk, and a bunch of junk is happening. So this because the last 47 questions have been not that important. This one probably isn't either, and they just continue to phase out. But and it was this 52 minutes was so unimportant and so unhelpful to the defense. The prosecution had no redirect questions.
Yeah.
And I would ask the one redirect question. Although you've done, I wouldn't mention that you've done less than 10. I'd say, are you qualified to intubate
Right.
children under the age of 1? Yes. No further questions.
Yeah,
So nothing has
that's
changed
it.
in this.
No.
Except now
I don't
you've just made
understand why
me,
the
if
defense
I'm
did
on the
that.
jury, you've made me mad that you made me stick through that.
What we've got here is we
Yes.
are now 2 hours and 4 minutes in. This should be shutdown time. This should be the time where we close the stream. But I still have this much of a cigar left. So we'll go to the end of this. We'll go to the end of this cigar because I don't want to waste the cigar. So we'll just go into the next witness until I run out of cigar. Then we'll run out of stream. Let's see. Do we have anything else to read here? Been there, done that. Asked Legal Vices, what are your thoughts on spreading your legs in court? Men need a certain level of spreading, but just don't go like full on man spreading. Just be just treat it with seriousness and respect. Just do the right amount of spreading. Irish I was drunk says my it's too small for my glasses to see. For once, a corn site will be spammed. Lol. Yes, we read that already. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Well, we do have the question here. I'm thinking the defense was trying to shift the blame if the paramedics didn't do the procedure correctly. But again, that was the implication.
That was the implication, but they never. There was no.
Apparently, that's what he was implying with the.
You could do this in 20 minutes.
How many children under the age of 1 have you intubated? I think that was the purpose of the question, but it was buried in. It was sandwiched between, 45 minutes and then another 10 minutes or whatever of unnecessary questions, and it gets lost on the jury that way, I think.
Yeah.
If he would have just come out and asked a few clarifications and then asked that question, it might have raised some questions in the jury's mind, but I don't think it did in this case. One, I don't think they were paying attention. Two, I don't think they were thinking about it in that way. And it's easily cleared up on redirect with a simple, do you have the proper qualifications to intubate someone less than 1? Yes. Okay. So, I think that's what he was trying to do, but I think he was ineffective in doing that just because of the length of time it took him to get there and the way it was phrased. Legal Vices, could it be to give the jury a type of crash course in teaching some medical knowledge which would produce thoughts about procedure and doubt? Again, yeah, but what is this made out of? What is this part of this thing called?
Yeah.
Is
that a metal handle? Is it
device,
plastic?
The OPA that moves the tongue out of the way? Is it made of plastic? Those are all. It doesn't matter. That doesn't give us any medical knowledge.
That tongue thing
So
never came back
both
up
of you
again.
are correct.
No,
it was.
I thought he was going to say something like,
"Isn't
it true that the tongue depressor got stuck in his throat or wasn't put in properly and his tongue was blocking his air passage?" Like, if you had that kind of evidence, well, then that would make sense to bring it up. But why are we asking, what is it made of? What are we even doing here? I don't.
Is it made out of metal? Is it made out of plastic? Yeah.
Who cares?
Never to be humble opinion. Ineffectively presented.
Mm-hmm. Meh.
All right. Well, let's see who our next witness is, and we'll go for this.
Finally. All right. So he's dismissed. Okay. This is where we end for today. So I'm actually kind of happy we still didn't get through Jeff's part 2 today. So we still get to be with Jeff for the next one. And then maybe we'll go on into the next part of the hearing without Jeff when we get there next week. If you're not busy, Susie, I'm not sure what day I'm doing it yet, but I'll send you a message. All right. It's time to go.
Yeah.
I have stuff to do. I have to finish my laundry and supervise the children because I'm sure they're not doing the chores that I asked them to do. Shiz, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me.
You.
And Robert James, thanks for the 5. Have to go. Please let me know if the video I posted in your locals is okay with you. I think I responded in the chat. I didn't see a video, but I'm sure it's fine. But you can post whatever you want. If it isn't fine, I'll hide it or something, but I doubt that that's the case. I don't think that would be a problem. I don't see anything like I can't imagine what kind of video it is. I mean, as long as it's legal, I think it'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. I have to look for it. Let's see. Where can I send you? Should we send you somewhere?
Let's see. It looks like let me see. Let me do a quick refresh here.
Right now. We've got Recovery Addict is doing the Natalie Cochran murder trial. Looks like he might be the only one.
Looks like AV
right
to
now.
the 7th power is going too.
Who's Ava? I
She's
don't
doing
know
the
who
Rocky
that
Joe.
is.
She was here. I'll send you the little thing. in
Steph,
private
the
chat.
altar nerd, is doing a Meghan Markle stream.
Oh, is she? Cool.
You know what? I'm going to send you over to Steph. Go tell Steph I said hello.
Yeah,
We'll
tell her
send you
Susie
over
says
to.
hi.
Yeah, tell her that we say hello.
Mhm.
And I am going to leave you with a song, as usual. Let's see, which one shall I pick? Let's go old school. There we go. See you guys later.
I was so lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, in my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. This time I know my road is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. In my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say goodbye.
So I take it that you've
Johnny's problem
seen
is he
Cameron
should have come
John's
storming
bedroom
in there with
Yeah.
a string of
Do you
garlic
recall when
and
we
some
went
holy
into
water.
Mr. Jetson's
cross.
first
Crucifix
bedroom?
one.
May the
Do you
power of
recall,
Christ
or no,
compel you.
No, I don't.
You
think so.
realize
His
this house
cover,
was infested with
just up for
succubuses.
that,
And
there's a picture I'll share with you of what it, yes. Do you
Suck
recall
you
what that was there
loaders.
when you arrived in the afternoon? I don't remember seeing it now. So while she
No wonder he said drown her before you burn her.
oh my god.
You-
Your next witness?
Now I know
Witness
why
Ron
you wanted to
Melanie
drown her.
Iglesias, and that is
Witness
also
lives in
by
Romania.
video.
Is that correct?
That begins with Miss Vasquez.